Okay, can y'all hear me? I'm gonna get started in just a second. Something distracted me right as I was going live. Um, a comment that I was responding to, which is actually perfect timing. I think it'll go very well with the topic of this video. So leave a comment really quickly to let me know if you can hear me since I'm using an external mic today versus just my headphones. I just need one comment letting me know that I'm good to go with the sound. Let's see. Okay, I can hear myself. I can hear myself. All right. So, if I sound too low or too loud, let me know and I'll try to adjust the mic volume. If there's any feedback or lagging, please leave a comment and let me know. So, as you can see by the title, we're going to be discussing some recent content by Fit Flavor Fun, also known as Ali. Ali is the content creator's name, and Fit Flavor Fun is the channel name. However, we are going to be discussing that. However, my energy is a little thrown off by a comment that I read right as I was getting ready to go live, and I was in the middle of responding to that comment and had to cut it short because it was time to go live. But bear with me, my energy is a little thrown off. If you are watching the playback, please go ahead and skip to a different portion of the video where I get into reviewing Ali's content. Just skip to the portion where I get to the topic, look for a timestamp, because I need to do some housekeeping really quickly and just address this comment that I got. So let me finish. Um, and this will also give some people some time to get in here. I know it's late, so people are probably asleep or whatever, but I need to do something real quick. Okay, so hold on. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna go over this video and then we're gonna go over that one. Okay, great. All right. Leave a comment. Let me know how the sound is. Okay, so I want to address something real quick. A video that I did earlier. Should I share my screen? Let's share my screen real quick. Let's share my screen real quick. And usually if I get a comment that sticks out to me, I try to address it. So I don't want anyone to feel like they're being attacked or anything. And I also have a disclaimer before I review Ali's content because I don't want anyone to think I'm attacking her either. But it just so happens that I have to address one of my own comments before I actually get into this video. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm gonna try to do this too low. Okay, hold on. How about now? Can you hear me now? It's closer. And part of it is me being like me talking low because my energy is a little like my energy just got effed up before starting this video. So let me know about now. I turned my mic all the way up, so now it might be too loud, but let me know. Actually, let me see if I can listen to it real quick. Let me see if I can listen to it real quick. And also try turning up your own volume and see if that helps. Let's see. Test, test. Test, test. Okay. All right, cool. All right. I also have different settings on this mic. So as I continue on with my live streaming, I'll try different settings out and see what works best. This one sounds a little bit weird, but we're just gonna work with it for now. We're just gonna work with it for now. All right, so let me just do some housekeeping really quickly and address this comment, and then we will get into Ali's content, which also has to do with how subscribers feel when they watch your content and they leave a comment letting you know how they feel. Okay, so it's the perfect time for me to start out with my own comment section before I get into Ali and her comments. So I was live earlier. I was live earlier, and as a part of my live stream, I went to a business. Okay, I went to get an IV drip therapy. Let me present my screen. Share screen. This one. Okay. So I went to get an IV drip therapy. All right. And hold on, let me show you that part of the video. Okay, so I'm gonna mute it, but you know, I walk in, and as you can see, I'm not filming anybody. I'm not filming anybody. Hold on, give me a second. I'm just gonna let it play as I talk. Hold on. I'm not filming anyone, but you can hear the person on you can hear the person that I'm talking to responding to me, right? And you can also see me looking at the comments on the phone. I clearly have the phone up. You can't tell, but I have the phone up. It's on a tripod, and I'm responding to people while I'm live on YouTube as I just walked into this business. Okay. So someone had a concern about me not disclosing that I was live. So let me just go ahead and address the comment while I'm here. And they left the comment twice, so clearly it was important. So let me can I zoom in on this? Hold on. I'm not sure. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't zoom. Let's try that. Let's see. I thought I could make this bigger, but I guess I can't. I tried to screenshot it and see if that would make it bigger, but it didn't. All right, so the comment is up, so anybody can really like go look at it. I'm not sure what's going on my computer and why I can't zoom. Something is up with that. So let me just let this play in the background while I talk. Okay, so I walked into the business and I'm having a conversation with the woman about an IV drip therapy that I'm about to get, and you can hear her responding on the video. Now, someone left a comment saying, I'm actually going to read it since you guys can't see it. So the first one says, it's the same person that commented twice. The first one says, you should have disclosed your recording streaming. It's common courtesy and required in some places. Then they said it again. You should have disclosed that you're recording streaming at the IV place. It's common courtesy and required in some places. How would you like it if someone recorded you at your job without your consent? I like your channel and respect you, but this is a legitimate issue. Okay, so I would like to say that, well, essentially what I said was that, oh, I didn't realize they responded to me again. So maybe you'll be here, nowhere 87. Maybe you'll be here since you just responded. So what I responded by saying was, I have been there before and received permission to record, so I was aware that it wasn't a problem. I appreciate the concern, but the woman that greeted me was the owner of the establishment and had no problem with it. And nowhere says, okay, I didn't have the backstory, so that's just how it appeared. I'm just sensitive to that because I work in healthcare, and it would make me very uncomfortable if someone did that. Okay, so I'm just now seeing the response to that. And so I just wanted to say that I wanted to start out with that because I'm not gonna lie, I was a little thrown off by the comments. And even though I understand the legitimate concern, it did feel, and things can get lost in translation, and nobody is responsible for your feelings but you. So that goes for me in this case. But it did feel like a little bit of an attack, even though it was a legitimate concern. And because of how it made me feel, I wanted to start out by saying, when it comes to Allie and the content that we are about to, so let me go ahead and put myself on a big screen. When it comes to Allie and the content that we are about to go over, I want to make it very clear that I empathize with what she is potentially going through. I will go through some of the backstory and get into the topic that we're going to be discussing, but it was actually perfect timing that I got a comment that kind of had me taken aback for a second. It had me taken aback, and it just goes to show that things that people say can make you feel some type of way. Like, okay, like, you know, we all have feelings. We all care about how our subscribers feel for the most part. I have a bit more of a tendency to be very snappy in my responses. So I was doing my best to not say that there. And as they said, they didn't know the backstory. So, you know, I just want to say, was it nowhere? I appreciate your concern, but I did have permission to film in that establishment. But I would like to also say that, yes, like if you're going to an establishment, definitely make sure you have permission to film. But I had said repeated times that I had been to this place before. So maybe, of course, the background of me having permission wasn't clear, but let's have a bit more courtesy in the comments instead of making assumptions, right? Because the question could have been, did you have permission to record? I work in healthcare. That's a little concerning. I just want you to be more aware. That would have been a bit more appreciative than, well, how would you like it if somebody did that to you? That's how it came off. Okay, so now that that's addressed, I just want to say, like, with that being said, consider going into what we're about to discuss with Ali. I definitely empathize with how the things that subscribers say can actually affect how you feel. Okay, so if you aren't aware, Ali from Fit Flavor Fun, she's on a GLP-1. I think she's on Mounjaro. Well, she was on Mounjaro brand. I don't know if she's still on brand or if she's on compound now. I haven't been up to date on her channel lately. But she recently had an issue where she did a video suggesting that therapy should be required before getting on a GLP-1. And she got, from my understanding, a subscriber told me about this incident. She got a lot of backlash from her audience, from her actual subscribers. So we're going to review that video today, and then we're going to review Ali's response to the backlash. Now, originally, I was going to just watch it for the first time on the stream, but because I already had some of the backstory, it didn't really matter. So I did go ahead and watch both videos most of the way through. So I'm gonna watch it again here because I didn't take any notes and I want you guys to see it. But I would like to start out by saying that Ali is one of the channels. In fact, she is the channel that I watched the most when I first started out on a GLP-1. So this is by no means an attack on her, an attack on her channel, an attack on her audience. This is purely my own commentary, my own opinion, and I think it can be quite distressing when your audience, in some instance, turns on you, or portion of your audience turns on you. I mean, it can feel messed up if even one person just kind of feels like they're turning their back on you. But I would like to say that pushback and disagreeing and sometimes even nastiness just comes with being a content creator. And even though it is just comments, words get to people, okay? So Ali recently felt the need to take a break because apparently, hey Jen, apparently the comments on her video was so distressing to her that she felt the need to turn her comments off for that video. So unfortunately, I can't review the comments and confirm if people were truly being nasty to her. But we're going to see what she had to say about it. We're going to see what initially sparked the outrage, I guess. And then we're going to see what her response was. So definitely hit the like on your way in. Leave a comment, say hi. Okay, Kat, we're going to look at it. We're going to take a look at it. Kat says Ali is cool and all, and she had good content, but her take on therapy is whack. So here's the thing. I think that amongst my audience, is it fair to say my audience now, for like the 6 people that constantly watch my streams? I think it's fair to say that people have described me as candid, as nobody has said fair, but I like to think I come off as fair. I haven't gotten comments that make me feel like I'm being mean to people or harsh to people or attacking people, even with Jaclyn Hill. No, I'm lying. I think someone did say I was pretty fair to Jaclyn Hill. So I don't want to put this stream on subscribers only because I want to give people a chance to speak. But if it gets a bit out of hand during the stream, I may switch it to subscribers only, because I'm just going to be clear. If you're going to talk shit to me, you're going to at least do it as a subscriber, period. That's just what it is. Like, if you going to talk shit to me on a live stream, you're going to subscribe to be able to do it. Okay. So as long as everybody's calm, cool, and collected, I'll keep the chat open. But if people come in here and start acting crazy, I only have one moderator right now. And Jen, I do not want you working too hard. Let them people say what they're going to say. You don't need to block or delete any people. You know the drill. If they start making sexual comments or, getting disrespectful, then sure, time them out, give them some room to breathe. They can come back and act like they got some sense. But honestly, for right now, the chat is open. But if people start acting crazy, then it will be on subscribers only, and you're going to have to subscribe to talk your shit to me. All right. So I gave you the background on what happened. So I think that most people are I think most people are familiar with what Ali had to say, but we're going to watch it anyway because I want to give my commentary. I don't want to just comment without the context of the video. And also, maybe some people have not seen it. I have learned to stop making assumptions. Like what I think people know, they don't know. I just had a members only stream where I talked about this. So let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. I don't have any intentions on being anything other than myself. Okay, so the only person I care about taking offense is Allie. I don't want to offend Allie. Okay, so if any reason she's up this late at night and would like to come over here and talk, then her feelings are the only one that I care about as far as like feeling like I'm being harsh or something like that. Like then I would talk that out with her. But anybody else feeling like however you want to feel, those are your feelings, you deal with them, okay? Because I'm just gonna give my honest opinion and what I think. I may agree, I may disagree. We're gonna get into it. So like the stream, share the stream, um and we are going to get into it. You know what, it's nice to be home because now I have a separate screen and it's so great. So hold on, let me get my life together really quickly. I actually came back, Jen. You know, I'll be saying I'm gonna come back and then I don't come back. What just I'm cursing already. What just happened to my what just happened to my other window? Why? Why am I struggling with technology so bad? Okay, let's do that. No, let's do that. And let's do that. And let's do that. And we're going to the first video. Okay. All right, so let's see. And if you don't want my commentary, feel free to go to Allie's channel, Fit Flavor Fun, and watch the video there without any interruptions. And don't forget to support the stream via super chat. If you want your comment to stick out or if you have a question, go ahead and super chat it so I can see it right away. Otherwise, you can support the channel by becoming a member. So let me share and let's do that. Select tab instead. Let's do that. All right. Can y'all see? You can see. I know you can see. Don't lie to me. I know y'all can see. Don't lie to me, people. Let's see what would be the best layout. That one? That one? Which one of y'all like? This one or this one? We're going to go with this one. If you want me to change it, just let me know. Be kind in the comments, please. Feel free to disagree, agree. Y'all can even argue if you want. Just keep it cute, please. Just keep it cute. All right, let's get into it. And let me know if for any reason the sound messes up.
For any length of time, if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you have probably heard me say many times that I think, and it's just my personal opinion, that people on a GLP-1 should have therapy. I feel like it should be a requirement. Now, on a video.
Okay, so she says it out front. I think it should be a requirement. Okay, so that's mandatory. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you flip it, turn it, switch it, requirement is mandatory. Okay, not a recommendation, not any of that. Her stance is that it should be a requirement before getting on a GLP-1. All right, so that's the premise for the rest of the video.
Where I had mentioned this, I got this comment from Carly, which, by the way, totally fine that Carly does not agree with me. But in reading Carly's comment, it really got me thinking, and I realized that I have never formally thinking, and
I thought she was going to read the comment, but she didn't. So let me go ahead and read it. And this is from one of her subscribers on a previous video. So Carly555 says, I agree with you all, but required. I agree with. Okay, I'm going to read it how it's written. So if it's a little grammatically incorrect, that's not my fault. It says, I agree with you all, but the required therapy. Not everyone needs therapy. Just my opinion and experience. No one should ever be required to do therapy in order to get medication. they need to support weight loss. Okay, so that's the context of the comment that she's responding to.
I realized that I have never formally sat down and explained where I came up with that thought process to you, my subscribers. So I figured I'd take a few minutes, talk about it, and really explain thoroughly where that mindset comes from. Because I think that everyone is in a position to benefit from therapy.
Okay, so now we've started at required, right, which is mandatory, and now we're at everyone can benefit. I think this, I'm gonna let it play, but I think this is where she may have already put her foot in her mouth by making the umbrella so wide. Like once you say everyone, you open the door for everyone to run their yapper and have an opinion about why they don't need therapy, which is their entitlement. You know what I mean? But she did cast a wide net of everyone can benefit, okay? I have a little bit of a problem with that, but let's hear her out and then I'll get into what I actually think about that.
First of all, if you're new here, hi, I'm Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest. If you would
She's lost 122
like
pounds.
to subscribe, I'd love to have you along for the ride. And I put out new videos every day, so it's definitely worthwhile. So hit that subscribe button. Okay, so where did I get this idea? Well, I honestly can say that I didn't think it up on my own. I don't get to take credit for that. So back in the day, which was a Wednesday, doctors came up with sort of the laid out plan for people who were going to participate and have bariatric surgery. And part of that plan involved a nutritionist or a dietitian, and also part of that plan was a requirement to have a set number of visits with a therapist. Now, the number of visits varies from insurance company to insurance company. For the friend that I helped through the process, she had to go 3 times.
Okay. Are we following? So the premise is based on the standard that is set for bariatric surgery, which I am a huge fan of Dr. Now and My 600 Pound Life. So that is the experience on the show. Dr. Now, renowned bariatric surgeon, often will send his, I mean, honestly, he will give people the opportunity to show that they can change their behaviors on their own first. And if that doesn't work, then he will recommend therapy to get the reason that they're eating under control before he actually does the bariatric surgery. Because if you don't address the underlying reasons for why you're eating, you're just going to regain the weight back. So that's, again, she's building the foundation on why she feels like everyone would benefit from therapy before starting a GLP-1.
And it was something that was hugely beneficial for her. And she actually ended up continuing therapy of her own accord, not a requirement to get the surgery, because she really clicked with the therapist and she found that their advice was incredibly beneficial to her life in general, even outside of the whole weight loss perspective. Now, in Carly's comment, she was like, I don't think that it should be a requirement to have access to the meds. And this is where I felt like I should probably step in and explain a little bit, because while it is a requirement for bariatric surgery, it's not like you're required to go forever, right? I mean, for most insurance companies, at least from back in the day when I looked into it and when my friend had the surgery, I mean, it was 3 visits, right? It's not a lot. So
I must say, I get where she's going with this. Like even by saying like 3 visits is not a lot, but I feel like okay, here's the thing. Why suggests that potentially, hypothetically, right, it is just her opinion. Like, okay, Freddie, yes, I'm aware that it is just her opinion. That does not mean, okay, that does not mean that commentary cannot be given about her opinion, right? Like addressing someone else's opinion. Okay, so I get that it's just her opinion. That doesn't mean don't talk about it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, so there's like, on one hand, it's well, hypothetically, maybe we should consider that therapy is a requirement for being on a GLP-1, like it is for bariatric surgery. And then, it's not even that much. It's like 3 sessions potentially. It's like you're suggesting that something would be potentially mandatory on one hand, but then downplaying kind of the significance on the other hand by saying, oh, it's only 3 sessions, it's not that many. Well, do the 3 sessions count, or do they not count? Do they matter? Are they significant? Or do they not matter and they're insignificant? It kind of sounds like, I don't want to say it sounds like she's talking out of both sides of her mouth, but that's what I'm getting at first. So let's see if she clears it up. I've never seen a therapist, but I'm assuming a therapist knows the right questions to ask to make me feel this isn't all bad. Okay.
Certainly, you would have that many visits with doctors and specialists, and right. So, if it was a requirement, not that big of a deal. She had to meet more times with the dietitian than she did with the therapist. So, I just want to put that in perspective. The other thing that I want to add is, specifically from my point of view as someone with a psychology degree, it is very, very easy for me to identify and pick out red flags when people are speaking.
Okay. No. No. And I'm laughing because I really like Allie. I really, really, really like Allie. So I'm not trying to come off negatively, but you, we as content creators, right, are not the authority on what people need. Okay. And to say, right, because I have said that, okay, perfect, Jen, perfect. I have said that I needed help, so I got help from a dietitian, even though I was side-eyeing dietitians for the longest time, like they don't know what they're talking about. But I sought out help for a dietitian from a dietitian. But does that mean everyone needs a dietitian? No. So I wouldn't cast the umbrella of everybody. What I like to say is, if you're having trouble, there's a good chance that there's something that you're missing or not doing correctly, and somebody that has more of that professional aspect could help you through that, right? So that would be a dietitian when it comes to the eating portion. But not everybody needs a dietitian. You know what I mean? So when Allie says, as a person with a psychology degree, it's easy for me to point out red flags. I think that to some extent, unless people are looking to you for psychological analysis or input or advice, maybe that needs to be chucked to the side. Like, I think it's inappropriate for me. And you know what? I'm a certified health coach. So yes, are there times when I look at people and the things that they're saying and I'm like, you need some assistance? Like, absolutely. But I keep that to myself for the most part. And on top of that, I say seek help from your medical professionals. I'm not trying to compare myself to Allie. I'm just saying, like, in contrast, as two content creators, I feel like the part about the psychology degree is not really relevant. And it's not, yes, I get why certain things would stick out to her more, but I feel like that comes off as trying, which she's not trying to do. I don't think she's trying to be an authority on anything, but it comes off that way. It comes off as like, well, because I have a bit more of this education, I think that people need X, Y, and Z. But that's not actually your profession. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a psychologist, but you have a degree in psychology. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? So I think if it was like a psychologist saying like, yeah, I see signs of eating disorders all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with Ali giving her opinion. I just think if we're talking about opinion, then leave your me, for me personally, leave your degree out of it. Your degree has nothing to do with it if we're just talking about your personal opinion. So that's what I feel about that.
It's in, you know, the verbiage that they use, it's in the phrasing that they use. It's, you know, sometimes it's more obvious than others. And many times I have seen all various layers of toxic relationship with food being expressed, especially in support groups. And I think that
I agree. I agree. But that's not, see, the thing about it is that's not just for people on a GLP-1. The food environment, the eating habits as Americans, right? Ali's in America, I think, unless she's in Canada, but I don't think she is. I think she's in America. Um, we have a toxic food environment, period, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not. So I don't think it's fair to single out the, and not that she's trying to attack, I don't think she is, but I don't think it's fair just because a particular group of people is choosing to get help. I don't think it's fair to single them out as having problems, even though I'm willing to admit we have problems. Like, let's be real. She's being gentle about it, but if you're 200 pounds overweight, you have a problem. If you're 100 pounds overweight, you have a problem. I'm not saying it's a mental health issue. I'm saying there is a problem. And yes, should we all be taking steps to figure out what those problems are? Absolutely. But are you like, something has gone wrong if you're 100 to 200 to 300 pounds overweight? Something has gone wrong there. And I think that we've normalized it so much as a country that we don't see it that way. And in fact, we go to the opposite end of the spectrum of being victims, when it's like we're not victims. I mean, we're victims of the food industry, but at the end of the day, we can choose to make better decisions. And being on a GLP-1 is making a choice to get some help alongside making some better decisions. So, yes, are people expressing some level of toxic relationship with food? Yeah, but even people that are not on a GLP-1 are having a toxic relationship with food. So, are you saying that everybody in general should be seeing a therapist? Like, I don't know.
part of the problem with support groups, which we all know there's not really a better option. But part of the problem with support groups is if you're in a group of people that all have the same views as you, for example, a group of people who have all lived their entire lives based off of diet culture garbage, and then you spew diet culture garbage, guess who's going to support you?
Okay, here's where I'm probably going to repeat this part a couple of times. Like, I'm probably going to rewind it a couple of times because the point that she's trying to make is that support groups can be a bit problematic because people may be getting some bad advice from people, from other people that have gotten bad advice, and it becomes an echo chamber. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a bad freeze frame. I'm not going to do that to her. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, um, which, okay, fine. I agree with that. But then she goes on to talk about toxic diet culture, right? Is that what she said? Let's go back a little bit.
Guess who's going to support you? Culture garbage. And then you spew diet culture garbage.
Diet culture garbage. Here's the problem with that. You know who else is spewing diet culture garbage? Dietitians, nutritionists, primary care physicians, your doctor. Like, that's the problem with that. Your therapist, maybe, depending on the type of therapist they are. You know who's spewing diet culture garbage? The medical field. Where do you think the garbage comes from? It doesn't just come from everyday people. It comes from the authority figures. That's where it comes from, and we repeat it. So it's up to us to learn how to sift through what's garbage and what's not. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to only find, and Ali has a support group that keeps getting kicked off of Facebook, and she you know, she keeps trying to bring it back. So I wish her luck with that, but it's like you can't just blame support groups for toxic diet culture garbage. You're going to get that anywhere. It's up to you to educate yourself to be able to separate out what's actually useful from the rest of the noise. So I mean, again, she's still explaining her reasoning for wanting or feeling like her opinion. She's still trying to explain her opinion about everybody needing to be on everybody needing to seek therapy. Potentially, it's a hypothetical before getting on a GLP-1, but I'm not feeling it yet. Like I'm not feeling like, okay, like I get what she's saying. I mean, I understand what she's saying, but I don't feel like she's making a good point. But let's continue.
guess who's going to support you? The other people who also have a disordered relationship with food. And that can be really detrimental when you're on a quest for health.
I agree, but as content creators, we have to be careful, especially in the GLP-1 space. We have to be careful to not mm, preach. Not that she's preaching. This is just my opinion. We have to be careful to not preach to people that are still finding their way just because we found our way. Does that make sense? I'm getting a notification about my internet connectivity, so let me know if there's any choppiness or problems. But we have to be careful to not we have to be mindful that we are all at different parts of our journey, right? And people watch us to see the mistakes that we make, the successes that we have, the lessons that we learn, and they look to us for information. Guidance is a little more like, I'm not your guide, I'm not your doctor, I'm not your therapist. Maybe in the future I'll be your health coach when I start accepting clients, but I'm not your person, right? I'm just here to share my experience and hope some others learn from it and answer some questions along the way if I can. But with that being said, we have to be careful to not come off as judging others that are still finding their way. And I do not think it was Allie's intention to judge or preach or anything, but it comes off as like, because to Kat's point, and I don't think Kat is being malicious when she says this, but Kat says, so when she was 400 pounds with her psychology degree, was she seeking therapy? Now, I don't know if Allie was 400, Kat. Was she? I don't know. So I hope you're not. I don't know. But so when Allie was starting out, honestly, I had the same question. Did she seek therapy? Because if not, it kind of gives like, okay, so why are you suddenly suggesting that everybody else has to do it? I don't know if she went to therapy, but hypothetically, you didn't go to therapy. I don't know if she did. I know she's probably in therapy now. I don't know. But it's like, what have you learned about yourself that makes you feel like, oh, this would be beneficial if other people would do it this way? Like, I didn't do it this way, but if other people did it this way, that would be great. It sounds more like she's looking at other people and assessing other people and saying, oh, well, because I'm seeing all of these people act this way, I feel like everybody needs this particular solution, which is therapy. And I just don't agree with that. She was pretty heavy, but I don't know what her actual she started out at 122. I don't I don't know what her current weight is. We're at 518. I can tell you right now, hold on. She um she put it up on the screen a second ago, a minute ago, toward the beginning of the video. I really want to find it. But no. Hold on.
That in that now you have, if you've been on my channel for any length of many times, many that, and it's just my personal that
Okay, I can't find it. I don't know where it
really
is, but
going
I don't
to
know if she was.
participate
I don't know if
and
she was.
have is
I don't know if she was 400 pounds. But point being, let me go back to where we were in the video. Point being that it does come off a little preachy, but I don't think she meant for it to be that way. Hey, Journey of Life, how are you? You're here pretty late. Where's the baby? All right, so that's what I felt about that point. It's like, the toxic diet culture thing, you're gonna find that anywhere, and it it comes off like trying to give people a diagnosis, and I don't think that was her intention at all. You're gonna see later that people had an issue commenting that, are you saying I have a mental disorder? Are stuff that she never said, but I could get how people would get to that conclusion, even though people were probably just jumping out the window with their comments. So let's continue.
Quest for health, when you're on a quest to get your life back, when you're on a quest to reevaluate and revamp this relationship that you have with food. So it's for those reasons. And also the
Okay,
reason
I need to pause for Kat's comment. Kat, I'm still feeling that you are, you know what? People can be honest about their feelings. I just don't want to cross over into being mean. And I want to be clear for anybody watching that I do not think that that is Kat's intention. But if she wants to comment and say, well, yeah, I'm trying to be mean, then she can say that. But I don't feel like that's the intention. I think it's just honest. Okay. So intentional or not, she's coming off real elitist now that she's on the other side of her morbid obesity. Honestly, I don't know if I would have used the word elitist, but I understand your sentiment and I kind of agree. But I am giving the caveat that I don't think she's aware that she's coming off that way. And I think it's important that she did this, even though I don't feel like she deserved for people to be nasty to her. I'm assuming based on her response that I'm taking her word for it that people were nasty, but I could be wrong. I would have liked to see the comments to make my own judgment, but she turned them off. So I guess it only matters how she felt about those comments. But she's coming off. I love Allie to death. I really do. Like I just can't say it enough. But she's coming off. There's another word that I want to use other than elitist, but it's escaping me. But I said preachy, but that's not the word either. But I'll put it to you like this. In my personal opinion, Allie from a year ago, when I was watching her channel, had someone else said this, Allie probably would have done a video roasting them. Right? That's because she does roast videos when people say goofy stuff. I'm not saying this is goofy, but Allie from at her highest weight or 100 pounds ago, if someone said this when she was getting started, I think that she would have responded in such a way of like, that's being a bit insensitive. But I want to give her the benefit of the doubt and let her explain what she means. Okay. So Cass says, not trying to be mean. I just can't appreciate folks trying to install barriers they did not jump over. We're gonna see if she can explain her way through it, but as of right now, I'm inclined to agree with Kat. It does give the impression that why are you suggesting a barrier that you did not have to yourself go through? When I suggested people go get a dietitian, it's because I felt like it helped me. I did it and it would help some other people, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. I don't think everybody should be required to see a dietitian to get on a GLP-1. I was in therapy, but I was in therapy before I started a GLP-1. So I've talked to a therapist about my weight loss and my struggles with eating and things like that, but I don't think everybody needs to be in therapy. So let's continue.
that, you know, the majority of our general practitioners that are prescribing these GLP-1s are woefully, and not their fault, but woefully.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. Find me on Instagram or TikTok, or I think those are the only two, Instagram or TikTok, at Vanity Reigns, because at any point, my channel can get copyright struck, in which, like, when that happens, potentially I won't be able to post. Or I'm not saying that would happen from this video, but you never know how someone feels about you using their content. So at any point I can be in a position where I can no longer post on my channel or it's gone altogether. Like I think you need 3 strikes for your channel to be gone. But other creators and stuff like that can copyright strike your content or your chat, or you can get a strike on your channel. So just in case we wake up one day and I'm no longer here, please follow me on other social media platforms, just to make sure, if you need to find me again, you know where to find me. I don't say it's for fair use because it doesn't matter. People can strike your video anyway. Like I know a lot of content creators say it, they put up the disclaimers. I've seen lawyers talk about it. It don't matter. It don't matter. Now, can you give commentary? What I'm doing now is within YouTube's community guidelines. That doesn't mean that the content creator is going to be okay with it and won't try to get the video taken down or something like that. But I don't think Ali's going to do that. I'm just saying in general, I have given this disclaimer before this video also. As my channel grows, I have seen way too many content creators lose their channel overnight and it's gone and they have to start over from scratch. So just please make sure you can reach me via email. VanityRains@gmail.com, Instagram @VanityRains, TikTok @VanityRains. There's no content on those platforms yet, but you could at least message me or get an update as to where I am, that I start a new channel, or am I just unable to post or whatever. And eventually I'll start an email list so that I can send out notifications, or a text notification list. All right, let's continue. I just have to put that out there. But the whole fair use thing, it's a waste of time. Like saying it in every video is a waste of time because it don't matter. It don't matter if YouTube feel like you broke a rule. It don't matter how many same times you say fair use in a video, they'll strike it. But that doesn't mean every strike is valid and you can fight them and things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Uneducated on GLP-1s in general, right?
Let me go back a little bit.
You're lucky enough if you can find one that can fault, but woefully that are prescribing these GLP. It's for those reasons, and also to reevaluate and revamp this relationship that you have with food. So it's for those reasons, and also the reason that, the majority of our general practitioners that are prescribing these GLP-1s are woefully, and not their fault, but woefully uneducated on GLP-1s in general.
Exactly. Did y'all hear that? She basically said the medical professionals are uneducated. That's exactly right. But maybe that should have been said before suggesting that people, okay, because here's the thing. You're suggesting that it should be a requirement, a hurdle for people to jump over to see a therapist, right, in order to get on a GLP-1. But you're admitting that most doctors are not going to be caught up, right? Like it was worse a year ago, but it's better now. But so like if you already know that the establishment is very slow to catch up on new information, why would you want that to be a hurdle that people have to jump over? This is not major weight loss surgery. It's not. I don't care how anybody puts it. This is not bariatric surgery. This is not cutting out a part of your body to force you to eat less. This is a peptide that's naturally occurring in the body. You're just getting more of it externally. Like, so why do we need a therapist for that now? I'm not against therapy. I'm in therapy. I'm not against therapy. But I'm saying why the stance or standard that it should hypothetically, I keep saying hypothetically because you're going to hear her harp on the hypothetical in the next video. So I want to put it out there that this was simply a hypothetical, a suggestion, a thought experiment. But since it was a thought experiment and it's out there, let's talk about it. You know that the establishment is not really caught up, right? Like you're lucky if you have a doctor that's even willing to entertain the idea of a GLP-1, right? Because I've had people comment, I've had people comment that their doctor won't even prescribe it to them. Not brand, not compound, nothing. So why would you make that a hurdle when the establishment is already behind? You think the therapist would be up to date, but the doctors wouldn't? And it's like, what I'm not understanding is like, what exactly are you going to the doctor for? Or what are you going to the therapist for? Because what I feel like she's trying to say, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but what I'm getting from what she's trying to say is the point is to address your eating, your behavior, your relationship. Address your relationship with food before getting on a GLP-1. I don't think that that's a horrible thing to say. Let's just put that out there. I don't think that's a horrible thing to say. I just feel like the net was cast a bit too wide when she said requirement and when she said everybody. The net was cast too wide when she said requirement and when she said everybody, especially considering I have never once heard Allie say, but I could be wrong. She can feel free to correct me. I don't want anybody else trying to correct me. But I have never, because I watched her channel from the very first video. So it's been a while. I could be out of the loop, but I never once heard her say, okay, so before I took the leap to get on a GLP-1, I went to a couple of therapy sessions to make sure that this was the right thing for me. I never heard her say that. So to now suggest this hurdle, yeah, it does come off as like, oh, well, you got your results and now you want people to jump through extra hoops. I don't think she's trying to be malicious. I think she's trying to be helpful, but it's coming out the wrong way. Just like when Jacqueline Hill said, oh, I tried my semi-glutides. If you don't get that joke, you're gonna go have to watch my live stream on Jacqueline Hill. But I tried my semi-glutides and I got my results, but honestly, I didn't like it and I wouldn't recommend it. It's like, so you got your benefit, but you don't think that other people should get the same benefit that you have? Now you're gonna not recommend it at all, or you're gonna recommend other hurdles before other people get what you got. It just elitist isn't the word. I don't think it's elitist. That's the word, but it's something, and I'll figure out what the word is eventually. Yes, you can always stop if you want. Absolutely. Okay, let's continue.
Right? Like, you're lucky enough if you can find one that can help you with side effects. If
She just said it.
you're having
I shouldn't let it play. But like I said, you're lucky enough to even find a doc that I would prescribe it to you. And now she's saying you're lucky enough to find one if that can help you with side effects. So what is the therapist for now? If the doctors don't know nothing, what makes you think the therapists know? How are they supposed to know if you are a good candidate for a GLP-1 based on your mental based on your relationship with food? How are they supposed to know if you're a good candidate for something they're not even educated on potentially? I don't get it. I get her point. I also understand why people would be offended, but I chalk it up to someone seeking creative solutions, not put up roadblocks. Okay. Thank you, PH. I actually don't think people should have to necessarily have to do therapy for GLP-1 first. I feel like your doctor should make that call. Okay. All right, let's continue.
any sort of emotional turmoil, challenges in your life, challenges with food, right? Then that
One more thing before I continue. Speaking, let's go back to the point about the echo chamber. So let's look at PH's comment, right? Chalk it up to someone seeking creative solutions, not put up roadblocks. But that's why it's important to do a video like this, like what I'm doing, because sometimes you have to put your ideas out there for them to be challenged so you can go back to the drawing board, right? Because otherwise, we're going to see how upset Allie got about the pushback and the nastiness. We're going to see how upset she got, but it's important to put your ideas out there because sometimes we get stuck in our own head and think something sounds great, but it doesn't sound as great when it comes out or when people can poke holes in your theory or your suggestion or your hypothetical. That's the only way to really grow and strengthen your position, whatever your position is. You put it out there and you let people challenge it. However, we're going to get into how that worked out for her.
that's not, where their expertise is, and many times they, right? Then that's not, where their expertise is. If you're having any sort of emotional turmoil, challenges in your life, challenges with food, right? Then that's not, where their expertise is, and many times they will refer you, right, to get therapy. So while I understand that not everyone needs therapy, I think that there are
You see what I mean? About like the talking out of both sides of her mouth. I'm not trying to attack her, but it's like, I understand not everyone needs therapy, but she started out by saying everyone can benefit from it. Which one is it? She started out by saying it should be a requirement, but now she's saying not everyone needs it. You can't have it both ways. You got to pick a stance here. Like, you can't, like, yes, we can talk about creative solutions, back to PH's comment. We can talk about hypotheticals, creative solutions, but you know what I mean? Like, what's really your stance? Like to be honest, her opinion doesn't affect anyone. So there's no reason for anyone to be nasty about her opinion. You know what I mean? But then we go back to Kat's comment about it coming off. Kat chose the word elitist. I don't have another word for it, so we're just gonna roll with it for now. If I come up with a better description, then I will use it. But so although she's looking for creative solutions, now that she's gotten her 100 pounds off, it does come off like a little, like, how would you feel if people were recommending these hurdles before you got a chance to lose your weight? You know what I mean? It's just like when the people a year ago used to, I don't really think people say this anymore, but people used to be like, oh, you're not diabetics, you're taking the medication away from diabetics. Allie fought really hard against that. Like, she pushed back really hard against that, and she's a diabetic. She is a diabetic, and she pushed hard against that. Like, no, I feel like if people need help, they should have access to this medication. So now it's like, well, maybe you should have therapy first. I don't know. Have you heard of Dr. Now, the guy on TV? Yes, I talked about Dr. Now a few minutes ago. He wants people to do therapy first before doing gastric bypass, but he's the doctor that recommends it. That's because okay, so really quickly, let's talk about this. So the reason why he recommends therapy, one, he is a doctor, so he can do that. Second, if I've watched 600 Pound Life all the way from the very first episode, Dr. Now used to put 600 pound people on a 2002 style operating table and slice and dice them open and give them back bariatric surgery. He used to do it at 600 pounds. And you know what he learned over the years? That surgery alone does not fix the problem. Because if you don't address why people got to 600 pounds in the first place, they will become 600 pounds again. So if you don't address the psychological, the emotional issues, the trauma, a lot of these people on the show are victims of abuse, often SA. So he learned over the years that if you don't address those things, these people will become 600 pounds again. Like I said it gently. Like I said, if you're 100 to 200 pounds overweight, something has gone awry and we have a problem, right? Like there's something going wrong there that needs to be addressed. You make it up to 600 pounds, there's definitely a problem. Like, I know people like to say like there's nothing wrong with you or there's nothing wrong with me, or like no, something's wrong. Something is wrong, and it's okay to say that something is wrong, because then you're in a place to address it. So with Dr. Now, he had to learn over the years, you cannot just jump straight into surgery, because it will not work. If these people are not willing to work and try and make an effort, the surgery will fail. He's a doctor with years of experience, decades of experience, that came to that conclusion. So I think that Dr. Now is correct there. This is something completely different. Allie is not a doctor. She's not a psychiatrist. She's not a psychologist. She's not a therapist. None of that. So it's like, and on top of that, she has already started her journey. This was not a hurdle that was in place for her. So it's like, you're recommending it now, but that would be putting up hurdles that you didn't have to face. It just won't let me keep writing, but you took the words right out of my mouth. But like, sometimes, like me, I have been dieting my entire life and I can run circles around a nutritionist. We're going to get into that. That is a wonderful point. She's going to mention that. And I think that the foot that she put in her mouth, like, she bites down on it when she talks about the nutrition. Kat, like, listen, like Kat's point's gonna get proven. I just wish I had a better word than elitist, but this point is going to get proven when Allie mentions the nutritionist in a couple of moments. You get to 600 pounds, you need therapy, and people around you who allowed you people around you who allow that need therapy. Yes, you often have the families involved, in the show, 100% enablers. How are you 600? How are you 600 pounds immobile and still gaining weight? People are bringing you food, right? Like, I wish we could just go and review several episodes of 600 Pound Life. I wish we could do it. But yeah, absolutely, Jen. I use elitist because I was trying to be nice and not say stank. I like elitist better, but I feel like we could do better than elitist. I don't think she's being stank. I don't think she's being stank. She's being something, but I haven't found the word yet. Okay, so I'm ready for her to get into this nutritionist point.
A lot of people who think that they don't need therapy, who would do the bare minimum for requirements for insurance, right? Just like they do for bariatric surgery, whether that's 3 visits or 5 visits or whatever, they would do that in order to be able to have the surgery, right? Or in this case, to get the medication. And many of them would get benefit from it.
No. I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'm saying no as in like I disagree. Well, okay. I'm saying no as in like so force everybody to go to therapy for this medication because the majority of them will benefit from it. Honestly, who are you to say that? I love Allie to death. I would never attack her. But let's be honest. Who are you to say that or suggest that? Mind you, her opinion is her opinion. This shouldn't, people should not feel the need to attack her for saying this. Push back, sure. Disagree, yes, why not? But attack, no. But it is a little bit of like, make everybody go to therapy so that, like, make 100% of people go to therapy so that 70% can get some benefit. Where are you getting the logic to jump to that conclusion? You know what I mean? Like, where is that even coming from? So I don't know about that point. I'm still not there with her. I understand what she's saying. I just don't agree with what she's saying. But let's continue. Oh, well, yeah, let's continue. Do you think reaching goal or almost at goal we become out of touch? Jen, you want to know what's funny about that? Before you told me about this video, that was the original topic of the walk and talk, and I switched it because I wasn't ready to talk about it. I wasn't ready to talk about it. So I did a members only walk and talk today where I asked the question, does losing weight change your friends? Like, does it change the people around you? Do your friends suddenly not want to be around you anymore because you're not the big person anymore, or you're not the quote unquote ugly one anymore, or because you were all fat together and now you're not fat anymore, or they're all thin and they can't handle you being thin? So I had that conversation instead. But Jen, this was the original question. This was the original question, and I didn't have my thoughts together, so I didn't ask it. But the original the original question was, does weight loss change your attitude? That's what I was gonna ask. But this comment is what I was getting at when I was gonna ask that question. So we can talk about it. We can talk about it, Jen. We got to get through the videos, but we can talk about that because it's a legitimate question, and I'm not sure I have an answer yet, but I am willing to say yes, which is why I am making a very, very deliberate effort to stay grounded. I don't want to say remain humble because, we're a little vain over here, right? But I want to stay I want to be aware, right? I want to be aware that we are all at different points in our journey. Even when I talk about compound versus Zepbound, I want to remain aware that some people are simply going to do compound no matter what I say. And I still want them to have a place on this channel, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not, right? Like, I don't want to isolate people. But as I lose weight, I also don't want to isolate the people that have not lost weight yet. They're still learning, or people that just decide they don't want to lose weight. You know what I mean? So yeah. Jen, I think the answer is yes. And I'm making an effort for that to not be my reality. I'm trying. And I can be more pushy than out of touch. Okay. If I live in LA, I'm pulling up like, come on, Journey, let's go walk. We got 40 more pounds. Ha! let's all go to LA and get Journey and the baby out of the house. Interesting. I can't wait to be at that level, but I feel like it's going to be hard for me to recognize I'm actually there when it happens. Yes, I'm going through that now. I'm having a hard time recognizing that I lost 50 pounds. I still feel like I'm 220 pounds. Okay, let's continue. If you haven't already, please like the stream and share it and say hi, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from.
That is the point that I want to make. It would push those individuals who need therapy but cannot say to themselves, I need therapy.
That's not your place. She should, to be honest, again, it's her opinion. So everybody, like, whoever disagreed should have just agreed and moved on. Nobody should have attacked her. But it's like, who are you to suggest that people that need therapy should be pushed to do therapy? What makes you think that forcing someone to do something will work? If anything, that's going to cause resentment. If anything, yeah, people will go to those 3 sessions, not give a damn what that therapist has to say, and get their medication and move the hell on. So at the most, at least you're wasting people, not her, but like that would just be wasting people's time. You've already acknowledged that people will just do the bare minimum and get the medication and go. So why are we suggesting this if you know people aren't going to take it seriously? Because people are being toxic and you feel like they need therapy, okay, but that's something that you keep to yourself, I think. Like, you don't suggest that everybody has to go down this road, even hypothetically. You don't, I mean, it's a thought experiment. It's a harmless thought experiment, but it deserves some pushback. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give a fair level of pushback. But I disagree. Like, she's already acknowledged that people aren't going to take it seriously, but still feel like everybody should be forced to do it. It's wild to suggest that people should be forced to do something that nobody forced you to do. I just cannot wrap my head around that. Like, even if you think it's a good idea, why suggest that it's mandatory? That's where you lose people. I'm ready to, I have ankle weights too. Yeah. We'll be in LA, Journey, like tomorrow. We're flying out. All right, let's continue.
They would be forced into a position to do it, and they may get something out of it. No. And I think that for me, again, and it's just my opinion, I think that it would benefit so many people that wouldn't normally seek out therapy that it would be worth it to make it a requirement.
No, Allie, it would not be worth it to make it a requirement. The hurdles to even getting coverage are already so ridiculous, okay? That's for one. For two, I feel like as a content creator, the way that you encourage people to do something that you think would be beneficial to them is to show them that you did it and it was beneficial. Am I losing my mind here? Am I losing my mind here? You don't suggest, she can do what she want to do, so don't take it as me trying to tell her what to do and not do. But it's counterproductive to suggest that people should be forced to do it for their own good, for their own benefit. I could see a couple of instances where that would make sense. This is just not one of them. This is just not one of them. Like I can think of a couple of procedures. I don't want to get political over here, but I can think of a couple of procedures where for the most part, you have to go through some sort of therapy before you get approval to have said procedure. And I would agree. So I can see in certain instances where therapy being requirements before making permanent changes to the body would be required, right? But like Jen said earlier, with a GLP-1, you can always stop. You can start, you can stop, you can start, you can stop. You should do it with help. I like let your physician know and things like that. But it's like, I think so many people would benefit from it if we just made them do it. That sounds wild. That sounds wild. Like that literally makes no sense. I think so many people would benefit from it if we just made them do it. If we just forced them to do it. If we made it a requirement. She just said it. If we made it, if it was made to be a requirement. That doesn't make any sense to me. She's giving, don't do what I do, do what I say. I tell y'all, don't be like me. I don't know nothing. Don't listen to me. I tell y'all on a regular basis, like, I'm just a person sharing my experience. Don't listen to me. Go talk to your local scientist. Don't listen. I don't know nothing. Don't listen to me. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I'm not your doctor. The video should have started. I saw a therapist before starting a GLP-1, and this is why you should too. That's exactly my point, Jen. That's exactly my point. I know Allie means well. I'm willing to bet that she means well, but this is how you do it. Like if you feel like your audience is going to benefit from, how am I going to, like, how do you suggest something that you didn't have to do? Or she could have said, I didn't do this and I wish I had. And this is why I feel like it would be a good idea. That's how you get people. Like you push people away. You isolate people when you say, I think this barrier should be put up. You know what I mean? Therapy is not for everyone. I, for one, would never vote for this. Well, let's see what else she has to say.
I would much rather and have higher respect for having that as a requirement rather than some ridiculously high BMI. Right?
No, not right. I mean, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? Therapy, 3 therapy sessions versus a BMI requirement. You know the reason why there's a BMI requirement for insurance? One, because insurance is stupid, right? They want to limit coverage for as many people as possible. So this is not about the health of the patient. Insurance companies don't care about that. They care about being able to, they care about having as little people as possible qualify. So trade one barrier for another. Because so for those that didn't understand the BMI point, the point that she's trying to make is like, let's say the requirement, I don't know what the requirements for insurance is, but let's say you have to have a BMI of 35, but your BMI is 32 and you're still obese, but you don't qualify. You're excluding people. Well, that's the fault of the insurance company. They're doing that on purpose. They're doing that on purpose. Why do we think therapy is a better solution to that? How about the doctor versus the insurance company decides whether you qualify for a obesity treatment or not? Doesn't that make sense? Like, I know, like, but I mean, we live in America. The insurance companies get to set all of the parameters, but a step in the right direction would be like, okay, let's drop the BMI requirement. No requirement for therapy. No requirement for how fast you got to lose weight, because she's going to mention that as well. This is something that you work with on for your doctor, because Zepbound is approved for weight management. It's either I forget what the terminology is. It's either weight management or obesity. I'm not sure if you have to be obese to be approved, but that's what I thought the marketing was. If your doctor decides that this would be a good treatment for you, then fine, send it to the insurance for approval. Your doctor should be able to say why you need this treatment. That's how it goes for anything else. Like, I'm literally in physical therapy now, and my physical therapist has to constantly stay in contact with my insurance and let them know she's making this much progress. We've had this many sessions. I think she needs this many more sessions, and they're being stingy. My physical therapist asked for 3 sessions. They approved 2. It is what it is. It is what it is. So the BMI requirement, that has nothing to do with health. That has everything to do with the insurance companies being stingy and not wanting to provide coverage. And then on top of that, like, what about the people that are paying out of pocket? Now, in all fairness, I'm already aware that she's going to specify that this is for those getting coverage through insurance, but it's like, so if you're getting coverage through insurance, you should have to have therapy for a GLP-1, but if you're paying out of pocket, you don't have to have therapy. That still doesn't make sense. I don't think she completely thought this out, but that's why it's important to have people converse and challenge what your ideas are, because I'm waiting for people to challenge me on the whole compound thing versus brand. She definitely yes, Kat, she definitely is 100, but who knows, maybe she did do it and not admitting to it, the therapy. I'm not sure. We already had the high BMI. Exactly. Like, that's another thing. Insurance isn't going to want to pay for therapy anyways. They don't even want to pay for the GLP-1s. Exactly. I think a BMI of 20 27, and one comorbidity, it's a BMI of 27. Okay. Yeah, but once you reach a certain BMI, they will stop paying for it, laughing my ass off, and only then will I need therapy. But that's what I'm saying, right? So that's her point, right? That if you don't quite qualify because of your BMI, but you're still obese, that's unfair. And I agree with that. That's unfair, but it's not, it doesn't make it more fair to just be like, well, instead of that, make everybody go to therapy. No. Like, what if you're, no, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. I just, so far I still disagree, so let's continue because we do have a second video to get into. If you haven't already liked the stream, leave a comment, let me know where you are watching from in the world or in the country.
I would much rather have that as a requirement.
But what do you, okay, I know I said I was going to let it play, but what do you mean I would rather have that as a requirement? You've already started losing weight. Again, I'm not being mean, I'm not attacking, but you're already halfway there or three quarters. I don't know what her goal is, but it's like you've already gotten off 120 pounds. What do you mean you would rather have this as a requirement? So are you telling me that if suddenly all of the insurance companies said, you know what? We thought of it out of thin air, drop all of the requirements and just make everybody go to therapy. She's already on her medication, and I think she's on brand. She's already on her medication. So if they suddenly in the middle of your journey required you, like, oh, we have a new requirement, now you got to go to therapy, you're telling me you would be okay with that when you've already been on the medication with no problem? That's crazy. So you would also be disrupting people, not her, but like this would also disrupt people that are already on the medication. Like, so are we saying only the new people would have to go on go to therapy? Well, she's gonna get more into it. She'll get more into it. Um, yeah, but we all just gained the weight again, and I was being sarcastic. Maybe she just wants someone to talk to. I mean, I'm not sure. I think she was trying to be helpful and put some ideas out there, but it comes off like she's speaking from a place of authority, and I guess that's where she loses me personally.
Rather than having people have to lose a certain amount of weight each month, otherwise they lose access, right? All these hoops that insurance companies make you jump through.
Therapy would be another hoop, though. She's saying drop all of those hoop and give you this other hoop that you force upon everybody. I no, I disagree with that.
Bro, I would much rather see them focusing on something that would actually be helpful.
But who says therapy is helpful? I believe therapy is helpful. Okay, to be clear, I believe therapy is helpful. But who says that's helpful for millions of people that you do not know? Like, I listen, I am the only person I know in my life that is in therapy. Everybody else in my life feels like they don't need it. Perfectly fine. Okay, fine. Like, who am I to disagree with that? Who am I to say you got problems, you need therapy? Like, the most I can say is, well, it got me out of a dark place at one point in my life. It really helped me out. Maybe you should reconsider, but if not, I mean, you could always try it and stop if it doesn't work. But, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Why are we assuming that it's a guarantee? Like, think about this. This premise basically says that it is a guarantee that therapy is going to be beneficial to most people. How are we making that assessment? How are we assuming that therapy is going to be beneficial to most of the people that go? Where is that coming from? Is there a statistic that I'm not aware of? Is there a number? Like, is there a survey? How do we know that? Why are we assuming that? Again, this is relying on an establishment that we addressed already earlier that is behind on everything. Like we get caught up faster than they do. YouTube doctors get caught up faster than a doctor you go see in an office. You know what I mean? So it's like, where is this? It would be beneficial. I'm sure of it. Where is that coming from? I don't understand. This is giving me Freaky Friday vibes. And how do you feel about that? I know the movie and Freakier Friday is coming out, as if anybody needs that. I'm not sure why. But wasn't Freaky Friday about like switching bodies? I haven't seen it, but I think I know the premise of it. So I'm not sure how that's related, but let me know. Maybe I'm missing the connection.
like therapy. Or if you want to have access to the meds, you have to meet with a dietitian X number of times, right? That would actually be helpful. It would be teaching people and it would help them long term in their journey.
Again, says who? Says who? I agree because I did it, but says who? Like not I agree, but I'm aware that like I started out with a dietitian, but I don't have one now, and I'm doing fine. I'm doing just fine, and I wouldn't mind seeing one again because I had a good experience. But like, you know what? Let me let her get to the point about nutrition. Y'all are gonna see what I'm talking about.
Now, people like myself, very experienced in the world of nutrition, do I need to meet with a nutritionist, uh, throughout my
Uh, uh, uh right? Now for me, I'm experienced in the world of nutrition. Do I need to see a nutritionist? It's like she thought about it for a second, like, oh, if you say you don't need to see a nutrition, but you're telling people they need to go to therapy. You know what I mean? But let me let her finish. In all fairness, let me let her finish. Matter of
entire
fact,
journey?
let me run it back so you can hear it in the full context, okay? Because I did interrupt her.
Now, people like myself, very experienced in the world of nutrition, do I need to meet with a nutritionist, throughout my entire journey? No. But is it beneficial and did I do it for a certain time frame? Absolutely.
She saw a nutritionist, not a therapist. Now, if don't comment to my comments saying she did see a therapist. That ain't what she just. If she did, okay, great, but that ain't what she just said. She had this entire video to say, I went to therapy for my eating. That's why I feel this way. That's where this opinion is coming from. We are 8 minutes into this video. She has not said that once. But what she has said is, now I'm experienced in nutrition. Do I need a nutritionist for all of my journey? No, but I've seen one. It helped. But you get what I'm trying to say? It's like, even there, that's where we get back to Kat's comment. It's like you're kind of separating yourself out as if you're different from everybody else, as if you are some sort of authority. Kat says elitist, but as if you're some sort of authority figure that can say, I know more, so I don't need as much help, but clearly all of you do, or all of the people in the support groups do. So we should just make this requirement from everybody, for everyone, because too many people are being toxic. I'm not toxic. I don't have these problems. I know what I'm doing. I did not have to go through this hurdle. I did not see a therapist about my eating. I'm not saying she didn't, but this is what it's giving based on what she said, right? I did not have to do all of these things because I'm a bit more, I have a bit more information, you know? But when it comes to everybody else, I think this is what everybody else should be doing. You see how that, like, do y'all see how that comes off? Do y'all see how that comes off? Hi. I'm sorry, I know it's dark in here. You want to turn on the light? Okay. He's like whispering. He's like, no. So like that's how it comes off. That's how it comes off. I mean, because not all therapists do a job well done, and you would have to find. This is what I'm saying. Why is it a guarantee that if majority of people go, they're going to have a good experience? Why is she's coming from the premise of that being a guarantee for at least the majority of the people? Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting the reason that people side-eye therapists now is because, one, they don't trust them. They don't trust the establishment, the medical establishment. They've been burned by the establishment, or they tried therapy before and it didn't work, or they just feel like they don't know what they're talking about. Most of the time when I talk to people about therapy, the first thing out of their mouth is, I don't want to talk to a person that don't know me. I don't want to talk to a person about my problems that don't know me. I don't know them. They don't know me. I don't want to talk to them about my problems. Do I agree with that? No. I think that therapists are here, or medical professionals in general are here to address things, to help us address things that we may not have the tools to address on our own. However, that does not mean everybody will benefit from therapy. That doesn't even mean most people will benefit from therapy. You know what I mean? Like, and then you may have to go through a couple therapists to find the one. Like, here's the thing, right? Let's say we have the requirement that you're required to have 3 therapy sessions. She's not even saying that those therapy sessions have to be successful. Like, you have to go through 3 successful therapy sessions and then get approval from the therapist. She didn't even say that. She just said go. So you can theoretically go there, stare at them for 30 minutes 3 times, and be on a GLP-1. Why even go through all of that? Why? That doesn't make any sense. So, because typically the ones where therapy is required to get a procedure, the sign off from the therapist is required. She's not even talking about that. She's just saying just go, because there's a good chance you're going to like it, you'll benefit from it, and then you'll keep going. At least most people will do that. But everybody else will have just wasted their time. No. No. I don't get where that's coming from.
And now it's a resource that I can go back to at any time. So when people are messaging me and saying, Allie, I'm really struggling because this medication is changing my relationship with food. And now these, high calorie dense
My dog
foods that
has
I
the
used to
zoomies.
use as an emotional crutch, now I don't know what to do with myself.
I've said this. I've said something to this effect. I've been talking about this for the past couple of days. I was talking about it earlier in my live stream if you want to go watch it. Yes, Zepbound, being on a GLP-1 will sever potentially. This is my experience. It will sever your emotional, potentially your emotional relationship with food. And that is a rough experience to go through. Do I feel like I will benefit from a dietitian or a therapist helping me through that? I absolutely do. So that's my plan. But do I also feel like I can develop some of those skills on my own just through my own research? Yes. Okay. So that's me. So people are messaging her saying, I don't have my emotional crutch anymore. I don't know what to do. Okay. You tell those people to go talk to their doctor and you leave it at that. That's it. You tell them if you had the same problem, you share your experience and what helped you, and then you tell those people to go talk to their doctor. That's what you do. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Going beyond that is completely unnecessary. Um, so for example, so I didn't want to say it because I don't want to get into like the politics of it, but like think about like sex reassignment surgeries, right? So in a lot of places it's required to go through in America, a lot of places in America, it's a requirement to go through therapy before getting approval for the surgery, right? Because you're making a permanent change to your body. So sometimes it's a requirement to go through therapy to get the hormones or to get the surgery, and the therapist is signing off on that you have a condition. So this would be the gender dysphoria. The therapist would be signing off that they've seen you, they've worked with you, and that you have been diagnosed with this condition in which this level of treatment is appropriate for you because you have this condition. So that is one example, right? Where you're going to be making permanent changes, changes that cannot be undone. Yes, in some places it is a requirement for you to go through therapy before you can make those permanent changes. And to me, that makes sense, right? Please don't start getting into my comments talking about it, okay? I just wanted to give that example. With this, these are not permanent changes to your body. Weight loss is not permanent. Being on a GLP-1 is not permanent. Now Eli Lilly says once you start, you should keep taking it. But realistically speaking, if you want to stop, you can. Your weight might come back, but you don't have to keep taking it. So there's no reason for a therapist to have to sign off on you taking it. She didn't suggest that, but I'm saying since she didn't suggest that, if the therapist is not signing off on you getting a GLP-1, why are you seeing them again as a prerequisite? When a therapist is a prerequisite, it's because a doctor, a surgeon specifically, is looking for they're trying to check on your mental health before you proceed with this permanent procedure. Like gastric bypass, permanent. Doesn't mean your weight loss is permanent, but the changes that are made to your body are permanent. They're permanent. So yeah, in those cases, those surgeons that are going to be responsible for taking you under the knife, they want to make sure that your mental health is in a place where this procedure is going to assist you with whatever you're going to whatever you're going through, not make it worse. It's not a quick fix or anything like that. So that's why I think there's a false equivalency that she's trying to make with bariatric surgery. That requirement of therapy does not apply here. It's not the same thing. And I think the major difference is one requires permanent changes while the other one does not. If that makes sense. Hopefully I answered your question, Jen.
I have all these emotions and no crutch, right? Those people would benefit from therapy, but they don't know that in the moment. So, while I'm not a huge fan of forcing people to do things that they don't want to do, I
Do y'all actually hear me mute? I mean, not hear me, but was I actually muted or did y'all just hear my whole exchange? Let me know. I don't know. I'll press the mute button, but now that I have my mic connected, I don't even know if that worked.
think that there is a large population that is suffering from horrible, toxic diet culture mentality that has to be unlearned.
But who says a therapist helps you unlearn toxic diet culture? Who says a therapist helps you unlearn that? In fact, to be honest, I think we're more equipped to help people unlearn it than a therapist is. And we're not medical professionals. Oh, I'm sorry. How about now, Jen? Did you hear me when I tapped the mic? My boyfriend is bald, so I always get excited when he shaves his head. So I was like, "Did you shave?" I didn't see him before he left for work, and he came back like extra bald, and I'm like, "Ooh, shiny." Can you hear me? Oh, he's in the other room. Okay. All right. So y'all heard the did you shave comment. I was not talking about anything inappropriate. I was talking about his head, y'all. He's bald. It's nice when it's shiny. I like it. All right. um okay, so let me go back a little bit because I'm just over here like being ridiculous.
Toxic diet culture mentality that has to be unlearned. And unless you take it upon yourself to unlearn it, which you absolutely can do, but it's a process, it doesn't just happen overnight, right? And sometimes people need a guide, they need someone to guide.
Journey of life. Leave me alone, okay? Stop it.
Guide them through the situation. To say to them, hey, I understand what you're feeling. Here are some tools that can help you along the way. That, to me, in my opinion,
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewind. Jen, you just made me blow up the whole spot for no reason. So you did not hear me when I went on mute. Oh my gosh, Jen, embarrassing me. I was okay, so now I gotta explain it from the top. Leave me alone. So I thought I went on mute. I pressed the mute button on StreamYard, and I was talking to my boyfriend, and I had said like, "Did you shave today?" And I thought y'all heard that. So I was asking, "Did you hear that exchange?" And when Jen said, "Yeah," I'm like, "Oh, so let me give the context so people don't think I'm being inappropriate." So I just blew up the spot for no reason. That's why Journey was like, "Shh, just let it go. Just let it go." All right, all right, y'all got it. Y'all got
guide
it.
them through the situation. To say to them, hey, I understand what you're feeling. Here are some tools that can help you along the way. That, to me,
That ain't what you said though. I almost let that get by. I almost let that slip by. So let's bring it back a little bit more. Let's bring it back a little bit more because that ain't what she said. It's like she's changing her point closer now that we're almost at the end of the video. Her stance is starting to change a little bit. So I want y'all to catch
to
it.
guide them through the situation. To say to them, hey, I understand what you're feeling. Here are some tools that can help you along the way.
Okay, that's not what she said at first. Now she's saying that in response to the people saying, "Hey, I'm losing my crutch. I need help, blah blah blah." She's saying, "Here are some tools to help you along the way as far as the therapy." But that's not what she started out by saying. If she was talking to those individual people, like, "Hey, I suggest seeing a therapist. That's worked for some people, or it's worked for me, or there are these tools to help you." That ain't what she started out by saying. She started out by saying these um support groups are toxic, and everybody should be forced to get therapy before getting on the GLP-1. That's what she started out by saying. Now it's only specifically about the people that are reaching out to her saying that they need help. That ain't what she said at first.
That, to me, in my opinion, is gold. And I think that everyone should have that opportunity if they're on a GLP-1 and it's covered by insurance.
Opportunity? How did we get from requirement to opportunity? You see what I mean? This is important because we're going to listen to her response to the backlash. Now, unfortunately, we don't have the comments for the backlash, so we're going to have to take her word for it as far as how bad it was. But how do we get from requirement, make, force to opportunity?
So, Carly, if you watch this video, I loved your comment. I thought it was phenomenal. There were a bunch of people who liked your comment, and I thought it was a fantastic perspective. And it really prompted me to get thinking about my own perspective, so I figured I'd explain it here. So, comment down below, let me know if you were required to get, let's say, 3 sessions of therapy in order to maintain your access to a GLP-1, let's say once a year. Okay, 3 sessions once a year. Therapist, you get to choose. Would you do it? Or would you feel like that's too much, that you don't need therapy and you wouldn't want to go?
She gave a call to action. She said to let her know. This is important. She said, would you do it? Would you not do it? How would you feel about it? She gave a call to action. She wanted to know what people thought. When you do that, you open the door. I mean, the door is already open once you make the video. Like, just being on the internet, the door is open for people to say what they want to say. But especially when at the end you give a call to action, like, let me know how you feel about this. You cannot assume that even most people are going to agree with you. You don't know. But I'll save it. We'll get into it when you'll see what I mean when we listen to her response.
I'm very interested to see what everybody says.
She's very interested to see what everybody said. Okay.
If you haven't already, subscribe. I'd love to have you along for the ride. I've got funny videos.
Okay, so let's go to the next video. Okay, so we watched the therapy one. We're gonna watch her response.
One thing that I think that we need more of in the GLP-1 community is creators, influencers giving it to you real.
And I must say that, Allie looks great. I don't like to say that people look better when they lose weight. I say I look better, but I don't like to say that other people look better. But she looks great. Like, her weight loss, she just looks great. If anybody's not familiar with her, let me share a bit of her channel with you. Definitely go check her out and subscribe if you like the content. But I started out on Allie's channel a year ago, and I do this often with GLP-1 channels or channels that I like. I go to oldest and I just binge watch up until the current video. But I haven't watched her channel in a while. So if we look at, oh, I didn't realize her dog was, I think that's a greyhound.
Hey everybody, my name
is that
is
a greyhound? So this is where Allie started at.
And this here is Kevin. And
Kevin, I think Kevin might be a greyhound. What do y'all think? I never noticed that.
We're on a weight loss journey to become skinny.
Period, Allie. We are on a weight loss journey to become skinny, okay?
I'm just kidding. Kevin's already
No,
skinny.
we're a little
He's
vain.
Whippet.
We're a little vain.
They kind of automatically
he's a whippet. He's not a greyhound, okay?
In that way. Anyway, I am currently on a weight loss journey and I'm wanting to document it, which is kind of wild. There's going to be lots of before and after pictures, so if you are someone who enjoys that, please stick around. And yeah, you'll get to see lots of Kevin here. He's currently playing with a toilet paper roll. Just right off the bat, to get everything started, I am currently using Mounjaro, which, for those of you who don't know, is an injectable that...
Her current weight was 285 pounds, Kat. So she started out at 285.
Is used to help people like me with diabetes. And kind of one of the side effects is that you lose weight, right? So you see a lot of people that are taking it for specifically that.
Stop the madness journey of life. Stop it. And I think whippets and greyhounds are related, but I'm not sure.
Reason. I have done a ton of research, and I am going to be implementing all of that research. So every time you see those.
So, very first video, she said she did a ton of research, but I'm not hearing anything about therapy. So, let's continue to listen.
TikTok videos where it's like, oh yeah, here's your top 5 tips. Yeah, I'm doing all of those things. So if that's something that you think might be helpful to you, like what actually works, what doesn't work, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Week 1.
Kevin, do you want to say hi to everybody?
I think Kevin is cute.
Okay, let's talk about week 1.
Let's talk week 1. So after doing a ton of research, I decided that I was going to do the injection in my right thigh.
So, here's the thing. She started out by doing her own research like the most of us do. Most of us just start out by doing our own research, looking at other content creators. That is why I was saying earlier in my video, we have a responsibility to, one, be honest, to be responsible. We have a responsibility to be responsible with the content that we put out there. And 3, be I need another word other than humble, but like like be considerate of where you came from and where others may be, okay? This is the Allie that I started out with. I'm not saying she's a different person now, but it's back to Jen's conversation of like, when you get close to your goal weight or at your goal, do you think it changes you? Or I would say, does it change your attitude a little bit? Yeah, it's very easy to forget where you came from. And I'm not saying that she did, but what I liked about Allie and what I think made her channel flourish was that she was very down to earth, okay? Her latest video on the therapy seemed a little out of touch, but I think she was coming from a good place. But in general, Allie is very, very down to earth. So this wasn't originally a part of the plan, but I want to get into some more of this first video of her so you can see why people would be attracted to her channel, because it's very, very, very natural, very genuine, very kind. So let's see.
Right-handed. From what I could find, the majority of people were saying this is a really good place to start. It's also a really good place to kind of come back to, because you don't want to inject in the same place over and over, because it tends to give you fewer side effects. So I said, okay.
Educational. She's teaching. She's talking about her experience. So far, so good.
For the first time, I'm going to do it in the thigh. Gave myself the injection. Totally fine. I started to feel, that was on a Friday night, by the way. So I opted for Friday night because of my work schedule. I wanted to be able to have time to kind of recoup in case the side effects were really horrible, right? I've got Saturday and Sunday before I got to go back to work on Monday.
This was a year ago. So she lost 122 pounds in about a year. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess her channel was new when I first started watching her.
I started feeling the appetite suppression immediately. Food noise was gone immediately, which for me, as a binge eater, huge deal.
Binge eater. I'm not judging, but I'm observing. So, again, binge eater, she would consider that toxic, was she not? Not toxic, but like problematic, right? Because she talked about people's relationship with food. So she started out as a binge eater. Again, I'm not hearing anything about therapy though.
I mean, I wasn't thinking about food at all. It was crazy. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my God, is this how normal people are?
I literally just said this earlier. It really is like that. Like, yeah, like it's really like that.
They just like live their lives and do things.
Hi, Sydney. Jen let me know that some stuff was going on Allie's channel on Fit Flavor Fun, and I adore Allie. She's one of the first content creators I started watching when I started on a GLP-1, so I wanted to give some commentary on her thoughts about therapy being a requirement, hypothetically, therapy being a requirement for everyone that wants to start on a GLP-1. I'm glad you up late.
And don't think about food. This feels weird, but it was great. My mind was.
Imagine I have to go through 3 therapy sessions just to get to that point of like, oh my God, this is what normal people feel like. I don't feel like we should have that barrier.
Very clear. went to bed, had nightmares all night, kept waking up, which is unusual for me. And then the next day, just absolutely exhausted.
That fatigue when you first
If
start.
you have ever had the flu, then you will understand the type of fatigue that I'm about to describe. So it feels like you have 50-pound weights tied to each of your arms, each of your legs. Like, just getting up and taking a shower takes all the energy that you have, and then you're right back in the bed again. So thankfully, I was prepared for that, and I did a lot of the things that people suggested, which was make sure you're super hydrated, make sure you're,
So she's figuring it out on her own, like the rest of us. She's figuring it out on her own, like the rest of us. So where is this thought about therapy coming from?
taking your electrolytes, make sure that you.
And I learned my constipation remedies from Allie. I ain't learning from a therapist. I'm not trying to be funny. I am a little bit, but I learned it from her.
Have foods on hand that you're excited about, because I had zero care about food. None. If I could have gone the entire day, and I probably could have without eating, I totally would. But people said, don't do that, because you'll actually make yourself feel worse. So I forced myself to eat, and I would do protein shakes. I did a salad and worked in some bell peppers and things like that to try to get some fiber in there. I also went ahead and preemptively took a fiber supplement.
Okay, so y'all get the idea, right? We don't need to watch the whole video, but you understand the idea, right? This is where she started from. No mention of therapy. That doesn't mean she didn't go. I'm just saying there's no mention of therapy. Maybe it's later in the video and we just don't get to it. But so far, like I said, I don't recall her talking about seeking therapy before starting on the GLP-1. And she just said she did the research and she's going to do what other people were suggesting and see how it works out for her. And I would say that it worked out pretty well for her. She lost 122 pounds in about a year. So now let's go to her response to the video about therapy. Let's go to her response to the backlash. And as you can see with this video, the comments are turned off. So unfortunately, we can't see what people were saying. So we're just gonna take her word for it. And let's see what her response
Showing
was.
you one thing that I think that we need more of in the GLP-1 community is creators, influencers giving it to you real. Showing you the bad days. I'm really going through it right now. And I'm going to tell you about it. And in hopes that it will help somebody else who may be struggling while on a GLP-1. If you're new here, hey, I'm Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss quest, and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride, because I put out new videos every day, except for maybe this week, because I am really struggling with depression. So I just want to give you a rundown of kind of the downward spiral.
So, trigger warning if needed. She's going to talk about her symptoms of depression. I don't know if she's diagnosed, but we're gonna give a little grace. So be kind in the comments, but you can be as candid and as honest as you want to be. Just be. You can be honest. You can say how you feel. But let's try to be kind, because apparently she's having a hard time in this video
that I'm currently in. So where things started was Facebook, yet again, taking down my Facebook group, my positive only support group. This whole Facebook glitch thing has just been really frustrating and annoying. And many of the groups that were taken down without just cause are now back up and running. We were up to 9,000 people in our group, and it was really phenomenal. And if you are one of those members and you're missing the group, then definitely drop down to the description box and click on the link, because the link that's there is for the backup group. It's going to look exactly the same.
You see what I mean? This is why I encourage y'all to follow me on other platforms, just in case anything was happening to my channel. You can at least know where to find me, so that you'll be able to see when I start up a new channel. I actually have a second channel, I just don't use it. So I need to rename it and make it a backup channel, so you guys can go ahead and start subscribing to it, so that God forbid anything happens, that you will know where to find me. But it's happening to her, not with her channel, but her Facebook group got taken away. So it does suck.
Same name, same picture. And we're just going to get back at it again because I don't think that Facebook is going to give us our group back. And not for any good reason. And not for any reason that was provided to me. It was just Facebook glitch and it's gone. It's really frustrating, and this is all I'll say about the Facebook thing because I don't want to get off on a tangent about hating on Zuck and Suck. But the part that's really frustrating for me as a support group owner who is trying to have a positive only community in a community that is
that even real? I'm not. I might have been her first group. I'm not sure. I don't use Facebook very often, but I think it's a noble thing to strive for. But can you honestly have a positive only group? Does that exist? People are crazy on the internet. But you know what? Let me save my thought for that because she's gonna get into how her subscribers treated her recently. So let's see.
just really horrible about tearing each other down for no good reason. What's really frustrating is I saw an ad on Facebook the other day that was, no joke, some guy doinking some girl. Just straight up. Full nude, doinking. On Facebook. So of course I reported it, right? Because there's kids on Facebook. Like, that's not appropriate. And I want you to know that Facebook said, no, this doesn't violate our community standards. But if someone in my group posts and asks about, hey, I need some help with my dosing. Should I go up or go down in dose? I need some advice before I go talk to my doctor. Well, then we got to flag that because now you're talking about illegal substances. You're trying to tell somebody how to do drugs. Can you tell that I'm bitter about it? Can you tell? So there's that. Been over a week now. Still haven't gotten my group back. So
I feel bad that she lost her group. That sucks. I'm sad to hear that.
said, forget it. I guess we'll just start over and see what happens from there. So that was the first thing. The second thing is that I posted a video on Friday that was talking about, hey, instead of having these ridiculous BMI requirements, how about we have, like 3 sessions of required therapy instead for people on GLP-1s, right? It was like this theory that I was throwing out there. It was completely hypothetical. I was like, wouldn't this be better for everyone?
There's the everyone word again. Okay. There's the word again.
And then people who could benefit from therapy would then have that option, again, covered by insurance. And then
why are we going from requirement to option? I don't understand that. It's either an option or it's a requirement. You can't have it both ways. Like, requirements aren't optional. They are requirements. What happens in the support groups? They ask questions to each other. They ask and answer questions, share pictures, share goals, things like that. Something like the lives. I don't know what her lives are like. I haven't been in them. But as far as the support group, it's like the Mochi group on Facebook. You ask questions, you see other people's experiences and things like that, and you interact with each other.
People who didn't want to, it would be very easy to then meet the requirement, right? Instead of having to get worse, have a higher BMI in order to meet the requirement. I thought it was a pretty insightful video. Boy, was I wrong. I guess I was just deluding myself into thinking that people on the interwebs were capable of talking about a hypothetical situation, a hypothetical solution to a problem that we're having in the GLP-1 community. Apparently, they didn't like that idea. And not only did they not like the idea, but they actually attacked me for it.
Okay. Remember her call to action? I really want to know what you guys think. Let me know. Would you be for it? Would you not be for it? Leave a comment. Let me know. Engage with me. She had the call to action. Does that mean that she deserved to be attacked? Absolutely not. Again, we can't see the comments, so Jen, I think Jen saw some of the comments, I think, and did confirm that even she felt like people were going a bit overboard, but Allie's going to get into some of the comments that she saw. So clearly she's upset about it.
For the first time ever, I closed comments on a video because the responses that I was getting were utterly and completely fucking depressing. I had one person say, "So what, we're implying that obesity is a mental disorder?" Who said that?
Okay, so if you didn't see the start of this video, I started out by addressing a comment that I got tonight because I understand this energy, okay? I'm sorry, that's a funny freeze frame. I'm so sorry. Like, let's okay.
Because it wasn't.
It's just gonna keep getting worse. Okay, but I understand the what the fuck are you even talking about energy. This is not for that commenter, but I'm just saying I get it. Like, I get when people say certain things in your comment and you're just like, what? Like, I understand that. But this is the risk that we run, right? With being content creators. People are going to say things that are just going to make us look like. And then Allie is one that where she does videos roasting comments that she think are completely and utterly ridiculous. I want to say I don't know why this particular instance is bothering her so bad, but I already know the answer. She's going to get into why in particular this time around, like, so many comments going against what she was saying bothered her. And I don't want to minimize it. She didn't say going against, she said attacking, okay? Wait, what was the attacked about? I missed her point. What was she attacked about? So Sydney, you came in late. We were talking about her previous, okay, matter of fact, I can go back and rewind it and play it for you. She did talk about it. But basically, she said that hypothetically, therapy should be a requirement for everyone getting on a GLP-1 because those that really need it will be forced into therapy, and potentially most of them will benefit from it and want to keep doing it. So everybody should be required to do it. So let me rewind it a little bit.
Still haven't gotten my group back, so I just said free. Second thing is that I posted a video on Friday.
Oh, I take that back. I just lied on Jen. She did not see the comments. So we cannot confirm or deny whether or not she was attacked. We just have to take her word for it. Her definition of attack. So we'll just roll with it.
That was talking about, hey, instead of having these ridiculous BMI requirements, how about we have, like 3 sessions of required therapy instead for people on GLP-1s, right? It was like this theory that I was throwing out there. It was completely hypothetical. I was like, wouldn't this be better for everyone? And then people who could.
Did you catch that, Sydney? She's talking about therapy for GLP-1s, and her theory was, wouldn't this be better for everyone? Okay.
Benefit from therapy would then have that option, again, covered by insurance. And then people who didn't want to, it would be very easy to then meet.
It wouldn't be awkward. Why would it be awkward? She could, if Allie was potentially watching, she could leave a comment without being attacked, and she could come up here and speak and defend herself. She doesn't have to defend herself. There's nothing to defend, but we could have a conversation if she wanted to. Like, I'm not trying to attack her, so it wouldn't be awkward, Journey of Life. You would be surprised how often that happens. So now she's being quote unquote Karen. She can dish it, but she's crying that she can't take it. What's up with that? Yes, thanks. Okay. Well, Kat, let's see. She's gonna address it. So let's see. Let's see what's up with that.
Meet the requirement, right? Instead of having to get worse, have a higher BMI in order to meet the requirement. I thought it was a pretty insightful video. Boy, was I wrong. I guess I was just deluding myself into thinking that people on the interwebs were capable of talking about a hypothetical situation, a hypothetical solution to a problem that we're having in the GLP-1 community. Apparently, they didn't like that idea. And not only did they not like the idea, but they actually attacked me for it. For the first time ever, I closed comments on a video because the responses that I was getting were utterly and completely fucking depressing. I had one person say, "So what, were implying that obesity is a mental disorder? Who said that? Because it wasn't me. And then a whole bunch of other people were just straight up attacking me like, oh yeah, sure, just make it worse. Getting on a GLP-1 worse. Now, I want to be very clear.
We are all different people. We have different levels of tolerance. We have different feelings. We have different points of view. I don't think her example right there of what she considered an attack, I personally would not qualify that as an attack, but I'm not her. You know what I mean? So that's why I wish I could have seen more of the comments, because someone being a smart aleck isn't necessarily an attack, okay? Someone being defensive isn't necessarily an attack, but I'm not here to defend those commenters because I can't see what they said. So I'm just in response, like, my opinion on that is just that sounded like someone being defensive, and that's not necessarily an attack on you. So if she was for getting therapy first, how come she's been on it for a year and never had a session with a therapist? Well, I don't know if she ever had a session with a therapist. I said that for me, I never heard her talk about it. That don't mean she didn't do it, or at least I don't recall her talking about it. That doesn't mean she didn't do it. But in the first video, she never mentioned that she went to see a therapist. That's why she's recommending this. She never said that. She doesn't have to either, but it would make more sense for context. She said that she's seen a nutritionist, but she never said she's seen a therapist. We went back to the very first video on her channel, and again, she never mentioned seeing a therapist. So I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying if she did, we didn't hear about it as of this stream. She admitted she's depressed or sad or something like that. I think she should seek a therapist now. Her puppy isn't cutting it anymore. Maybe she's in therapy. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what her answer is to her current feelings of depression. I'm not sure.
I'm not talking about the people who disagreed with me, because there were a lot of people who made really good points that were disagreeing with me.
I never in a million years thought her subs would go against her, or I would have went back and read the comments. Yeah, I would have never. Allie has a very strong support base, so I wouldn't have thought so either. But we'll get into how I feel about subscribers in a minute. Like, we'll get into that.
For various reasons, and all of them were perfectly fine. If I've said it once, I'll say it again. I don't expect everyone to agree with me, because sometimes I'm out in la la land saying just whatever comes to my mind, right? Because it might be interesting to you. It doesn't mean you're going to agree. But what I didn't ask for were the number of people who were my actual subscribers, names that I recognized, who came at me with guns ablazing and fists of glory to attack me for even saying it. Like, I'm sorry, what, was everybody just having a bad day on Friday and decided?
She's calling out subscribers. Like, she's gonna specify that these are not trolls. These are people she recognized as supporters on her channel. These are people that I won't say she knows, but she's familiar with, as far as like the way we are somewhat familiar and the way we engage. These are comments coming from people that clearly support her because she's familiar with the names. She's cool though, except sometimes she contradicts herself. If she doesn't expect everyone to agree with her, why turn off the comments? Well, Sydney, should I address that now or later? Let's continue. I'll come back to your comment in a minute.
Decided to take it out on me? Again, not talking about the people who were having an adult conversation in the comments that disagreed with me. Those were totally fine. I'm talking about people who attacked me for saying that some people on a GLP-1 may benefit from therapy.
Is that what she said? We watched the first video. Is that what she said? Some people on a GLP-1 will benefit from therapy. Is that how that video started out? Or was it, I think it's a requirement because it's a requirement for bariatric surgery. And I think it should be a requirement because those that need it but don't realize they need it will be forced to take it, or will be forced to do it. And then more than likely, a lot of them will benefit from it and want to keep doing it. Isn't that what she said? Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I did not see that coming. Not from a mile away. It started first thing when people started watching that video, and it continued until I shut off the comments the next day. And I finally got so tired of weeding through the horrible comments that I said, you know what? This is not good for my mental health. I'm going to turn the comments off because
Okay, let me let her finish. Let me let her finish because I wanted to get back to Sydney's question. So let me go back a little bit.
weeding through the horrible comments that I said, you know what? This is not good for my mental health. I'm going to turn the comments off because people are either just reading the title and not watching the video, or they're just going off the deep end like I was in some kind of position to make this the new thing.
Okay. So if she doesn't expect everyone to agree with her, then why turn off the comments? Her answer to that is because the comments were so bad that it was not good for her mental health. Now, here's the thing that I don't understand, and maybe I will get more, maybe I will become more aware of this as I get more engagement on my channel, right? You never know. I could piss people off any day and get 500 comments telling me I'm stupid. I don't know. And I don't know what I'm talking about. So I say this with the level of grace that I have not experienced what she has experienced. I mean, you can say one thing that'll trigger me. Like, it's not because I'm sensitive. It's just because my initial instinct is to respond, right? But I have to take time to really think because I don't want to isolate people and make it feel like I'm attacking them. Okay? So, it's not good for her mental health. So she turned off the comments even though she asked for the engagement. I disagree with this, but it's not my channel. I just want to give my opinion like she's giving hers. I disagree. And again, I've never been in a position where I felt like I had to turn off my comments. So maybe I will be in that position at another time and I'll be like, okay, I get why Ali did that. But she asked for the engagement. And then when she got it, she felt like it was too rude or she was being attacked, so she turned the comments off. So not only can people not comment, but we can't see what everybody else said. I think that that's a mistake. I think if you're going to say that people are attacking you in your comments, we should be able to go see the attacks. But she's the content creator, she's the channel holder. It is up to her. If she feels like this is what she needs to do for her mental health, then fine. But I just don't understand, like, when she said weeding through all of the negative comments, why do you have to weed through them? Just don't read them. Like, but what I don't know yet, and like, so the way it works is like when we are in YouTube Studio on a mobile device, every comment that you get, that's a first time, that's a like an original comment. So like not something that you responded to and then somebody answered your response, but like whoever's posting their comment, the original comments all pop up in YouTube Studio. And when you don't have a whole lot of engagement, it's easy to just heart the comments and get them out of there, or respond to them and get them out of your way. I don't know what it's like to receive 100, 200, 300 comments at once and you have to like potentially scroll through them. I don't even know if there's a way to hide all of the comments in your YouTube Studio. So maybe that's what she means. Like there was no way for me to get into my studio and not see these. So I just turned the comments off so I wouldn't have to be. We also get notifications when we get new comments as well. So maybe she was being overwhelmed by notifications, or she was being overwhelmed by the comments constantly showing up in her YouTube Studio while she's in a studio trying to do other stuff, because being in the background, working in the background is a part of what we do as content creators. We are in the YouTube Studio often, like on a regular basis. So sometimes, like there are times I get comments that I don't want to heart or respond to because it's not something that I consider, like, I don't, it's not something I have a response to, and it's not something that I like that you said, so I don't want to give you a heart and I don't want to comment. So that, but it's stuck there and I don't know how to get rid of it other than to respond to it or comment or heart it. So I just heart it to get it out the way. So I don't know if there's a way to hide the comments in the YouTube Studio, but if there is not, then I can understand why she turned the comments off, to just get them out of her face. In fact, I don't even know if hiding the comments removes them from the studio, so I'm just speculating. But on the surface, I think that she should have just opted potentially for just not reading them, like letting it fly, like all right, and then coming back with a response video if she felt the need to. Because like I said, Allie is a roaster. She will take a comment and roast for like 20 minutes. So it seems like this pretty much overwhelmed her. And I'm not saying it's not possible. It's obviously possible to get overwhelmed by a lot of pushback. But so far, what I'm hearing her consider to be attacks, it just seems like people were being very smart alecky, had like maybe being nasty, but attack might be a bit of a stretch. But who am I to tell her how she feels? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to. So she does her lives on Wednesdays, I think. I listen to the replay. I will tune in this Wednesday to see whose name is called out. I'll be a messy bitch. Oh, that will tell me who she's talking about. Will she call them out by name? She said subscribers. She didn't say, I don't know. She didn't say who, but she's making it clear that these are people she subscribed to. These are people that she recognized, and she's taken aback by their response to her.
I was saying, hey, maybe this would be a better option instead of saying to people, you have to become more sick and have a higher BMI to get access to GLP-1s. How about we give them something that they can access, make it insurance covered, and go from there? Boy, I tell you what, people did not like that at all. The number of people with hurtful, hateful comments that were like, I don't need therapy, and who the hell are you to tell me that I need therapy? Okay.
But you see what I mean? Like, that's a legitimate point. Like, that's a legit, how is that hurtful or hateful for somebody to say, I don't need therapy? Okay. She also said, people are acting like I'm some sort of authority to make this happen. Yes, people will act like just because you have a stance, your stance is actually going to impact them. Like, no, like Allie cannot make you go to therapy, okay? So people are being a bit ridiculous about that. But yeah, who are you to tell people that they need therapy? Like, that's legitimate pushback. I don't find that to be hateful. It might be like a clap. Like it might be taken like, oh, that was nasty. Like, you ain't have to have an attitude with me. But it's like, it's a legitimate question of like, who are you to I don't think people needed to take it as seriously as they did. They could have just been like, I don't think that's a good idea, Allie. Like, no, like, can we talk about that on live? They could have just said that, but I don't think that's a good example of people being hateful. Like, I'm gonna need a bit more than that. If the comments were that strong, did she go back and watch what she said in order to understand why people reacted so violently? Sometimes we say things one way, but it comes across another way. So Sydney, yes. So, well, I don't know if she did, but I was thinking the same thing, right? In my mind, if people are responding that way, it doesn't mean necessarily that you did something wrong. Like, because we are in control over our own feelings. But I would be wondering what I said or did to make people feel that way. And if, like, I would reassess. And then if the answer is, okay, y'all are just tripping, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about, then that's the answer. But if the answer is, you know what, I get what, that's why I want to see the comments. I want to see, because what if somebody had a comment like Kat, like, hey, you're coming off for like a little elitist, or you're coming off like you're setting up barriers that you didn't have to cross, or did you go to therapy? Like, I want to see what people were saying. If they were attacking her weight, her looks, then I would consider those attacks. But just saying like, who are you again? I don't think that's an attack. If 500 people say, who do you think you are? That's not an attack. That's a question. Who do you think you are? Now, it might be a hurtful question if you feel like you've built a rapport with these people, but it is a question. It is a question. The statement was clearly for more than a 20-minute video. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
By the way, if you were one of those people and you commented that on that video, thanks for proving my point.
Yeah, but how did your point get proven? Like, so the point was, who are you to tell me that I need therapy? So because they said that to you, they've proven that they needed therapy because you consider that to be nasty? Okay. Like, I don't think that's a good point. I don't think somebody's proving their point that they need therapy because they're clapping, you know, in response to something that you said, that you put out there and you asked for engagement on. So, okay.
I'm not sure what I did to you, but congratulations,
Nothing, actually. She didn't do anything to anybody. So, like I said, if she was being attacked, there's no
you
reason
made
for
me
that.
feel like shit for
Let's go back a little bit.
but congratulations, you made me feel like shit for posting a video that was supposed to be just a hypothetical situation.
You know what this sounds like? And I'm not speaking for her, but this is just the impression that I'm getting. I'm getting that she genuinely felt like she was coming from a good place. And the fact that people did not receive it in the way that she felt like it was going to be received, it disappointed and hurt her. So when she says it made her feel like shit, there's a part of me that's just like, felt like shit about what exactly? Like, what did you feel like shit about? What? Like, this is why I need to see the comments, but I'm not really sure why she felt like shit by people essentially saying like, who do you think you are to like even suggest that? Um, but it's her opinion. She's not an authority on anything, so I don't know why people even took that super seriously. Like, that's like taking the people that say like I said, when people would say, "Oh, this medication is only for diabetics," who the hell are you? Like, who cares? Who cares what you're talking about? Like, who cares what you're talking about? You're no authority. You telling me that I shouldn't be on this medication because it's for diabetics. You have no authority over that. So I don't give a shit. I don't care. You know what I mean? So I don't know why people didn't respond with the okay, next video. I'm like, all right, Ali, I disagree, but all right, next. You know, I don't know why people took it so seriously. And I think it's because Ali has developed a reputation of being informative. Um, she's looked at with respect and high regard, I think. And I think people were triggered because she does come off as someone that is more in like more tapped in with the telehealth companies than others. She comes off as having more information than other people. So if people are not thinking clearly and she says something like, "Hey, what if it was a requirement for therapy?" People feel like she's close enough to the system to actually have an impact on that when she's not. You know what I mean? Like, Allie's not going to make it so that you have to go to therapy. Like, relax, okay? She was just giving her opinion. I get that, but like I said, it is deserving of some pushback. Is she simply not used to people disagreeing with her? I don't get why she's so upset. Now, here's the thing, Sydney. I think so, but I don't know. I don't watch her channel that much anymore, but that's the vibe that I'm getting. I'm getting her feelings are really hurt because she's not used to people. Now, she said people disagree all the time. I'm fine with people disagreeing. She said that, but it's giving she's really not used to people disagreeing and that this really overwhelmed her. Like, that's the impression that I'm getting. I could be wrong, but it definitely sounds like she's not used to people disagreeing with her. So I don't know, but I get that vibe.
So then there was that. And that was awful dealing with that on Friday because I don't like to close the comments on a video, right? I like for people to have a discussion and a debate. And when people agree and others disagree, like it opens up a space, a safe place for people to have a conversation.
She seems to be okay with disagreement when she's saying this, but like I said, it gives like you're saying one thing and kind of doing another. So I don't know.
But we can't do that if people are getting defensive, going off the deep end, and saying crazy shit like, oh, so you're trying to say people with obesity have a mental disorder? When that's not what I said at all, in the slightest, at any point. And I'm telling you, these were names that I recognized. These are regular subscribers, people who have been in my lives. I'm not talking about some random troll. I was absolutely floored.
So here's where I want to get into the subscribers. I don't like none of y'all. No, I'm just playing. So here's the thing, right? Her feelings are hurt because she's built a rapport with these subscribers, is what I'm guessing. Her feelings are hurt because listen, when you engage with your subscribers on a regular basis, it is incredibly rewarding. Like when you know a name that pops up and you're familiar with the name, it like seeing that person come back again and again, it is rewarding. It's rewarding to say, "Hey Sydney," because you're familiar with Sydney or you're familiar with the name. It's rewarding to say, "Hey Jen," "Hey Journey of Life." You start to feel like you're building community. But something that I don't think people understand is that relationships can be built through YouTube, but there is, you have to set boundaries with your subscribers, okay? Like, don't get it twisted. I'm team meet people off the internet, okay? But that's in due time. That's something you pace yourself to do. For the most part, this is a content creator subscriber relationship. We are not friends. And when I say we, I mean the content creators are not friends with the subscribers or the viewers, okay? We are just that, content creators and subscribers. But we do build a rapport and we build community. So, can it be hurtful if somebody that has supported your channel for a very long time suddenly jumps out there? That can be hurtful. But you have to brace yourself. I only know this because I've seen it happen to other content creators. I'm just assuming Allie has not witnessed this before, so she just don't know. But like, honestly, if Jen came out of, I won't say came out of nowhere, right? But if I said, you know what, I think everybody should fast, right? And I did a whole video talking about why everyone should be required to incorporate some sort of fasting into their weight loss regimen, and they should be seeking professional help for their fasting. Jen is not into fasting. So if she came into the comments saying like, so who are you to tell me that I should be fasting when I don't need that, and da, 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 da. Like whatever, like if it felt like she was misunderstanding me, or if it felt like she was attacking me, at this point it would hurt my feelings, because I feel like I've built a rapport to some extent with Jen, the subscriber, the member. Shout out to Jen. It will hurt my feelings a little bit, but that doesn't mean Jen has to be in an echo chamber and agree with everything I say. Push back, disagree. We could even get in the ring and fight a little bit, okay? like I will argue with y'all, okay? Okay, guys, like don't push me over the edge, okay? But I'll argue, like I'll not argue, but I'll debate. We can go back and forth. We can do all of that. But if it felt, if I wasn't bracing for it, it would be more hurtful. So I understand where she's coming from, but I think it hurts more because she's not used to such pushback, right? Like if me and Jen are on the same page, neck and neck for a year going strong, and then I get onto a topic that hits a nerve and suddenly she acting like she don't rock with me, that might hurt my feelings. But because I can't see the comments, something is telling me that maybe Allie was taking things as an attack that were maybe more so just being amplified by the number of comments and not necessarily the content or the context of the comment. You know what I mean? Like maybe 70 people saying, "Who do you think you are?" feels like an attack because 70 people said it. When it's really like for real, like really, who do you think you are? You know what I mean? So I understand. Jen ain't fasting, but we can have our fun. So I understand, but there's a, I don't want to use the K word. I don't want to use the Karen word, but because I want to be sensitive to her feelings here. Like your subscribers can have the capacity to hurt your feelings if you're really close with them. So I definitely do get that. But we have to be clear that subscribers are not your family. They are not your friends. They are just that. And they have the capacity to turn on you. Okay? Especially if they're used to only hearing what they want to hear. I'm not saying that's the dynamic between her and her subscribers. I'm not saying, I think Allie keeps it real. I'm not saying she only tells them what they want to hear, but people are drawn to certain content creators because they are getting whatever fulfillment they need from those content creators. The second you stop fulfilling whatever need they feel like they're getting from you, yes, they are bound to turn. Okay, so I feel like to some extent we got to try to some level emotionally, mentally prepare for that and try to protect ourselves as content creators and have some level of boundaries between us and the subscribers, because this is a relationship. We are in a relationship, guys. Like, okay, like this is a relationship and all relationships have boundaries. So, you know what I mean? Like you can talk shit to me, you can troll, you can roast, Like, you can gag, we can have fun, we can agree, we can disagree, we can do all of that. But you know, you got to draw a line somewhere, and I think the lines may have gotten blurred between Ali and her subscribers, because the way she's talking about them is like, these are people that I know, these are names that I recognize. It really hurt her. You can tell it really hurt her, and it's like, but at the end of the day, they're subscribers. Like, remember that. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot give them so much power over how you feel, even though to some extent you're always going to feel a level of closeness with them. So I just wanted to clear that up. Like, I get it, I get what she's going through, but boundaries. Boundaries. Okay. Hi, Empowered Wellness by Teddy. Hello, family. I think anytime you open yourself up, open yourself to the public and post content, you allow other people to see and comment on what you do. You open yourself up to whatever might come. This is the truth. Okay. Don't get it twisted. I am not some brick house that will be able to take any attack that comes my way, but I'm trying to thicken my skin up. I'm trying. So, you know, I get it. Teddy, is this the same Teddy from Texas? Did you change your name, or are you a different Teddy? Are you the Teddy that did the 24-hour fast and now you have a profile picture? Or was that a different Teddy? Let me know. Yeah. So I'm giving grace, but Allie's disappointed because I'm guessing because she has a closeness with her subscribers.
I was like, okay, well, note to self, don't talk about therapy anymore, because apparently it's a hot button. And if you even put it out there as a hypothetical situation, people are going to get mad and defensive for no reason.
Okay, this is where we start to get into the Karening. And I say this with love, but slow down, okay, Allie? Like, slow down here, right? We all get triggered. We all get upset. Content creators and subscribers alike. But you are the dictator of your channel, not your subscribers. Like, so back to Journey of Life's point, like, if she's watching, I doubt it, but it could be the case. You are the dictator of your channel. Not dictator, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you run your channel. You talk about whatever you want to talk about. And those who rock with you will rock with you. And whoever can no longer rock with you, they just can't rock with you. And that's okay. You don't let your subscribers dictate what you talk about and what you don't talk about. You don't. You take feedback and you take it seriously. Like, you adjust accordingly if you see fit. But you don't let a bunch of pushback just like force you out of a stance that you have. Now, can it make you reevaluate? Absolutely. And I think that, back to Sydney's point, did she go back and try to understand where people had the problem? I don't know. I hope she did, but it doesn't sound like she did. It sounded like the lesson that she took from this was, well, I guess I just won't talk about that no more. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up if you think that just because some people got butthurt about something that I said, that I'm gonna decide, well, I guess I can't talk about that no more. I decide what I talk about. And whoever it's for, it's for. Whoever it's not for, it's not. But does that mean you just ignore your subscribers and you ignore their feelings and their concerns? No. But back to boundaries. Boundaries. Like, let's be clear about who runs this shit over here. Let's be clear about who runs this channel. I respect y'all. I love y'all. But I run this over here, is what I think Ali should be saying. You guys, I'm not talking to y'all. But that's what I think she should be saying. Like, I run this shit. Like, I love y'all. I support y'all. I think that, and not in my attitude, because, you know, but in her own way, the sentiment should be, you know what? I read your comments. I see that maybe I need to go back to the drawing board on my idea, but I need y'all to chill the fuck out, because it was just an idea. Like, oh my gosh, like, relax, people. Calm down. Like, it was simply an idea. It was simply a hypothetical. My bad. Like, okay, well, let me go back to the drawing board and try to figure that out. Or do we need to have a panel? Do we need to have a conversation? Like, what do we need to do? But you're not going to just scare me out of a topic because y'all are upset about something. But should you probably listen a little bit? Yeah, but at the end of the day, you run your channel, not them. So I don't agree with that. I don't agree with not talking about something just because people got upset about it. No. Like, if they want to leave, let them leave. But yeah, have some awareness to, because she did come off as a bit out of touch. She did come off as in, like, she's made it to the other side and now she's forgetting where she came from. She came off that way. Now, if she didn't mean to, her comments were an opportunity to learn a lesson, right? Okay, am I getting a bit out of touch? Hold on, y'all bringing me back to reality? Because y'all know I'm vain. I've already told y'all, once I get to 140 pounds, y'all can't tell me a motherfucking thing. Y'all can't tell me shit. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm kidding, guys, like a little bit. But I'm just saying, like, I think it would have been a great opportunity to learn. And it seems like she's offended that people are defensive, yet she's defensive. You know what I mean? She has a right to be upset if she was being attacked, but we don't know because we can't see the comments. So just taking her word for it. Yes, it's me. I have a different channel now, so I can start posting my journey. Whoop, whoop. Did I inspire that to some extent? I hope so. We have somebody else on the channel. If you didn't see the video, G's one of one. He's another subscriber that's also has started a channel. I don't know if that was inspired by me or not, but now that you've told me, I'm asking. And let me see if I can click on your channel and see what you've been posting really quickly. So I can subscribe. Let's see. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. Sidebar. How do I go to channel? Let me see. Have you started posting yet? You have. Okay, I'm gonna subscribe. Thank you, Teddy, for supporting. Allie isn't having back and forth conversations with her subs. She says something, they all nod yes. Very few and far in between I see any pushback except for me. I have not watched her channel in some time, but I get the impression that Allie is used to consensus. Even though she says that she's fine with pushback, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know, but I get the impression that she is used to everybody being on the same page, and this is really hard for her. Do you have anything posted yet, Teddy? He just started. So he has 2 videos. He started a day ago. So go subscribe to Teddy. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that I have. I'm super glad to hear that, and definitely keep us updated. Don't forget round mound of Zepbound for the fellas. What? Don't forget round mound of Zepbound for the fellas. What? I am so lost. I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking? Round mound of Zepbound. What does that even mean? What am I missing? I want to clear that up before I continue on with the video. What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. What are you talking about? Hold on, let me see. Jen, you're gonna have to clear it up for me. All right, let's get back into the video.
Hypothetical means not real. Calm down, Karen.
Oh, there she is. She clapping. No, what the hell is that? Round mound of Zepbound? What is that? Let me look it up real quick. Mound of Zepbound. What is that? I've never seen this channel before. I have not. I don't know anything about it. Have they been over here? Has he been in the comments? Or are you just recommending a channel that's good for the fellas? Are you saying I'm not good enough for the fellas, Jen? One of the guys on Zep with G's one of one. He was over here? Turtle Diaries, get out the bushes. What you doing? We over here, girl. Get out the bushes. You said one of the guys on Zepbound with G's one of one. So Round Mound was over here? Did I miss his comments? Oh, good for everyone. Who, me or him? Now I'm lost. I don't even know what we're talking about. Jen doesn't think I'm good for the fellas. Is it because I have a pink banner? Like, what's going on? All right. So I think Jen is suggesting this channel, Round Mound. I'm not sure if he's been over here before, but I'll have to check out some of his videos. And if there are other people that y'all suggest that y'all like, I don't mind. You can share in the comments. So far there hasn't been any weird results from that, so I don't mind sharing the channel. Oh, he hasn't been over here, but a good channel. Okay, so you were just, hey, geez, you were just talking about good channels. Okay, that's fine. I'll check out his channel. I'll check out his channel. Okay, back to Allie.
That was awful.
Oh, so she clapped. Did y'all hear her clap a little bit? Hold on. Let's go back.
Because apparently it's a hot button. And if you even put it out there as a hypothetical situation, people are going to get mad and defensive for no reason. Hypothetical means not real. Calm down, Karen.
She clapped. She called them Karens. Calm down, Karen. You heard Allie. Except Allie, that means you need to calm down too, girl. Like a little bit. I mean, you don't have to, because I will curse a motherfucker out. I just haven't done it yet. Like, it hasn't been warranted yet. But I'm okay. But so are they being Karens? Maybe a little bit. And like I said, she should have just done one of her more traditional roast videos, but I think she did not roast because these were names that she was familiar with, and she would have had to roast people that she actually has a rapport with. So instead of roasting, now she's offended, you know? So it's like, maybe you're a little defensive too here, which is fine. I'm just saying, but like, you know, she clapping a little bit. It is a little bit of a crash out. It is, oh my gosh. Did you change your profile picture? That wasn't there before, was it? Or maybe I was on my phone so I couldn't see it. I love your profile picture. Yeah, it is a little bit of a crash out. Turtle out the bushes. Turtle, like just came out the bushes. Round Mound has a great voice. Calm down, Karen. Wow, she went in on her subscribers. I wasn't clickbaiting. I was not clickbaiting when I said subscribers turn on her. She's making it seem like it right here. I don't have the comments for proof, but she's making it seem like they turning on her and she clapping. So, you know, just calm down, Karen. Like you heard her. Calm down, Karen. Okay.
That was awful. So then there was that. I'm sure you've probably noticed my arm is in a sling.
Allie's
So I hurt my arm. That was fun. I'm in a lot of pain. I am so upset and frustrated and in a funk, and I'm really having a tough time pulling myself out of it.
You know what? It happens, and this is the point where people say log off. Okay, y'all not gonna tell me. Y'all not gonna have to tell me to log off, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna log off. Like, that don't mean I won't come on here like, if I'm cursing somebody out, that don't mean I'm crashing out. That mean I'm cursing you out. Okay, but I haven't had to do that yet. I'm a lady. Okay. I am a lady. Okay, so like you can see it coming up a little bit when I be like, so, and what you mean? Like, what's your point? Like, it be bubbling up inside of me, but I'm like, calm down, relax. You can't just like clap at everybody. Like the Bronx be ready to come out of me. So I be trying to chill, and remember, people can push back, people can disagree, like right? But you know, sometimes it's a little bit triggering. I'm not gonna lie. But you know what I will do? Log off. I will log off. I will. Because it's gonna be either I'm gonna log off, I'm gonna curse you out, or I'm gonna curse you out, then I'm gonna log off. Like, which one you want? Which one you want? How you want it? So yeah, she definitely needs a break. I'm taking in these comments had to I'm taking it these comments had to be bad. She and her perspective is the one that matters here, because it's her channel. So to her, they were bad enough. But I wish I could have seen them, because it would give a lot more context to how she's feeling. I agree, Turtle Diaries. Allie needs a break. Something is going on with her, and that arm is in the sling. That arm in the sling is proof. What's going on with Allie? No. Separate the arm and the sling. Like, yeah, she's going through a lot right now. The arm and the sling, losing her Facebook group and all of that. But no. Here's my theory. Those are separate things. They just so happen to happen at the same time. When you are used to getting praise for having the answers, it can be very overwhelming when people suddenly look at you like you're the problem. I'm not saying she's the problem. I'm saying it sounds like in those comments, people turned on her because they suddenly saw her as a part of the problem. And they were expressing that in the ways that they felt like expressing it. I'm not saying they express it in a nice way. Like, her thing is like, if you're gonna disagree nicely. I don't say be nice. I say be kind. Be consider. You don't have to be quote unquote nice. Like, I think being nice and being kind are different things. Like, I don't think I've been mean to Allie. I think I've been very kind and considerate to her point of view. When Kat was commenting, I didn't feel like Kat was being mean, but I didn't feel like she was being like nice either. It was just honest. It was just like, I'm not being mean or nice. It's just how I feel. So I just want, like, from my comments, I want people to be as respectful as possible. Like, there should be no FUs or Bs or this or that. Like, no need to talk to each other like that. But can you just be like, you don't know what you're talking about? Yeah. Can you call me dumb? Sure. Like, I'm probably gonna call you dumb back, but like, as long as you can, like, if you're gonna dish it, be ready to take it back is all I'm trying to say. So I think Allie is just overwhelmed with, like I said, if Sydney or Jen or someone that I feel like I've built a rapport with simply through the comments, not outside of YouTube. If I feel like we've built a rapport and then suddenly all of them push back on me on this at the same time, yes, it's gonna make, it's gonna make the content creator feel some type of way. But you gotta know how to handle that. You can't just be like, okay, well, fine, I guess I'm not gonna talk about that. I wish the fuck I would. like like it's getting to the point where I love you guys, but y'all can, like, you can check me. I'm checkable, but I run this over here. And I feel like Allie is almost acting like her subscribers run her channel. Like, no, you can talk about what you want to talk about, but if you offend a lot of people, take a step back, reevaluate, and if your stance is solid, then stand your ground. But the only way you're gonna know if your stance is solid is if people challenge your ideas. If people challenge your ideas and your ideas hold up at the end of it, then stand on it. But if your ideas don't hold up, I think she's offended because some people might have made some good points. If she hasn't said it already, she will say it. Like, okay, you know what? Some people made some good points, but I think that was like throwing salt in the wound. Like, not only are people being kind of nasty, but there was some legitimate points being made as well. It's just weird that she can't just admit that she was wrong and just say that to her community. The crash out vibes are really unfortunate. I feel that way too. I feel like it would have been a lot easier to just say, okay, I hear y'all. I didn't fully think that one out. I didn't fully think that through. Let's go back to the drawing board. Everybody calm the fuck down. Like, I feel like it's okay to curse. Like, I feel like it's okay to say, you know what? I heard y'all. Okay, I get it. Everybody calm the fuck down. We're gonna go back to the drawing board. And if you can't take me saying fuck, this is not the channel for you. Like, okay, I hear y'all. I'm gonna need everybody to calm their ass down and let's talk about this, okay? Like, before it really go up, because y'all were in those comments acting a goddamn donkey. Like, y'all act like y'all can't come up here and talk to me. Like, I don't drop this motherfucking link for y'all to come up here and disagree. Okay, so now that I got that out, can we all just have a conversation? I don't think that, I'm just letting y'all know that's how I'm gonna approach it. Y'all can come for me. You can come for me. Just know I'm gonna come back and then I'm gonna be like, okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Like, everybody calm the hell down. Calm down. Everybody relax. Let's talk about this. Okay? Because I run this. Now come talk to me. Okay? Turtle Battery said that part. Sydney says, my point is that often our physical maladies and our mental struggles are related. Do we know her story behind her arm in the sling? Well, let's listen. Let's see what she says about it. Let's see what she says about it.
I'm just being honest. This is one of those situations where old me would have ordered a butt ton of McDonald's, blew out my calories for the day, and called it a day.
Okay, this is important because, all jokes aside, she's really feeling it. I think she should evaluate why this is like hurting her so bad. But she's talking about now addressing that emotional eating. Now, considering everything that has been said and why we're here, I think it's ironic to say, mind you, she's never mentioned that she's been to therapy for any of this, even though she's suggesting that it should be forced upon other people, hypothetically, okay, hypothetically. But she's expressing that this would be a time in her past where she would have chosen to binge eat. And typically when a recovering binge eater like myself, I've never been diagnosed, I'm not diagnosing her, but just because she said it, I'm saying it. She said it in her very first video. When you talk about the times like times like this would make me feel like binging, you're thinking about binging. But the nice part about being on a GLP-1 is that you can't really do that. Like, you can try, but you're gonna get sick. So she's talking about addressing her emotions with food and how she used to be, like how she used to deal with that. And those feelings are coming back up with her. So that's hard. That's rough. That's definitely rough for someone to deal with.
Thankfully, I'm not feeling the urge to do that, and I'm not going to do that. But it's incredibly frustrating. I calculated how much weight I lost this last month. That was a whopping 2 pounds, if I round up a little bit. So that was fun.
Just gonna pause so everybody can read Sydney's comment again. Do we know the story behind her arm in a sling? My point is that often our physical maladies and our mental struggles are related. She did not say why her arm is in a sling. She just said she hurt her arm. This is not something that she wears on a regular basis. This is just now showing up. So something happened in between the last video and this video for her arm to be in a sling, but she doesn't say how she hurt her arm. But she talked about the stress of only losing 2 pounds in a month and how that's frustrating for her. You know? So she's going through a few different things, but still, you know what I mean? Like, is all of this necessary? Instead of just saying, I didn't mean to offend you guys, but calm the hell down. Like, okay, we can talk. Y'all have access to me to talk to me, okay? Like, if you want to disagree, if you want to push back, let's have a conversation. So
it can be really challenging to.
Jen literally watched me be under attack by my dog today on the members only live stream. Like, that dog was throwing hands. He was throwing hands. He was throwing paws. Like, it was crazy.
Go from losing 2 pounds a week to busting your butt and losing 2 pounds in a month.
And then the irony of this, right? She's stressed out about the fact that she's gone from losing 2 pounds a week, so let's say 8 to 10 pounds a month, to losing 2 pounds in a month. You're going through that, but you're saying that everybody else needs to be in therapy before they start. This is why I'm not health coaching yet. Stuff like this is exactly why I don't have clients yet as a health coach. Because I don't want to be like this. And I'm not attacking Allie, right? But I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be telling people what they should do and I don't got my shit in order. I don't. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she's over here frustrated because her weight loss has slowed, right? She hasn't even worked through that. She's working through it. But you're talking about other people need to be in therapy because they have a toxic relationship with food. Like, listen, y'all, are y'all following me? Do y'all understand what I'm trying to say? Without me trying to like attack her or be mean. I feel like I have to say that 15 times because without a doubt, there's going to be somebody that potentially is a supporter of hers that will be like, but you didn't understand. She did. And it's like, no, calm down. I love Allie too. Calm down. Don't make me cuss. You knew around here. Don't make me cuss. Okay. Probably fooling around with them damn dogs. How was the dog throwing? Ask Jen. He was throwing paws. Ask Jen. He was on camera. He didn't care that there was witnesses. He didn't care. I sprained my ankle fooling with the damn dog. Yeah, that's rough. You sprain a whole wrist, shoulder, rib. Like you'll sprain a lot messing around with my dog. Like he's 30 pounds of a lot. Like he's just 30 pounds of a lot. Like I don't even know how to explain it.
It can mess with your head. Now, I'm okay. I'm not letting that get to me so much, but it was information that was in a position to not make me feel any better because I got all this other crap going on. I got some personal stuff going on. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just done. Sick of working me. I just cried so much yesterday. So overwhelmed and frustrated and irritated.
That is the point where you turn the phone off. You uninstall YouTube Studio if that's where you're reading the comments at. Uninstall it for the weekend. Come back with a fresh pair of eyes. And I still say, if there's a way to get around reading those comments, don't read them. I haven't figured out the way to get around them, but if your comments are bringing you to the point of tears, take a break, step away, put down the phone, turn the computer off. Whatever is on your devices, it's not that important. It's not that important. Take a damn break. Take a break. Take a break. Okay? Stop looking at the comments. I know it sucks. I know it's annoying. But step away. And that's the best that one content creator can say to another. Know when to step away. Know when to put the phone down. I'm not guaranteeing that I won't come on here crashing out. I'm actually kind of like anticipating it. But this crash out isn't even like, this is a crash out without accountability, quite honestly. Am I far off? Let me know. I'm team crash out, but I'm a crash out in the sense of like, y'all got me effed up. Like you got me effed up. This is a I don't want to say victim crash out. That was going to sound bad, but this is a crash out that lacks accountability. So let me know if I'm off with that.
You don't realize how much you use both of your...
Like, not once have I heard her say that maybe she was a little off. She just said, oh, well, I guess I can't talk about that because it's triggering, putting the onus back on the audience. And it's like, you have some responsibility as a content creator because it was your theory that you threw out there for the public and you got the answer that you got. So, you know, you either stand on it or you take it back and reconsider, but you don't get to just play the middle and just be like, well, fine, I just won't talk about it. Why? Why can't you talk about it? You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Your arms until you can't. I didn't get squat done, so then I couldn't feel better about at least getting some things done around the house because I couldn't do them. And I know that in the big scheme of the world, right, these are small things. And I'm sure that most of the people who are watching this video are going to be like, really? You're upset about all that? That's kind of stupid. But
kind of, a little bit. So she's aware. She's aware. I'm not saying it's stupid. I'm just saying it gives a little like, really? Like, this is unnecessary. It's a bit unnecessary.
It's important to remember that there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes for your favorite creator that you don't get to see. They have real lives. They have...
You know what I just realized? I'm so sorry. But you know what it just dawned on me? This speaks to Allie's mindset, right? The fact that her Facebook group is the theme of her Facebook group is positive only Facebook group, like positive vibes only, positive comments only, positive energy only. And I was asking at the beginning, like, how do you manage to have a positive only environment without extreme levels of censorship? Like, how do you even manage to do that? I don't think any environment is 100% positive. So the fact that she feels that way about her Facebook group, I'm almost willing to bet she felt the same way subconsciously or consciously about her YouTube channel, that all I want is positivity, positive vibes, and this was just too much for her. It was just too much on the opposite end of the spectrum for her, and I don't think that that's realistic. Like, you have to almost brace yourself for some level of like extreme pushback or disagreement or even disrespect. That doesn't mean you have to accept it, but everybody should see it coming. You don't know when it's going to come. You don't know what's going to trigger it. She had no idea this would trigger this kind of response, and she's taken aback by it. So that much I understand, but it's like she really does have this mindset of like, as long as I'm being positive, everything should be good. And it's like, not on the internet. This is like a very, very rude awakening. I wonder if she and her spouse are having some problems too. This is not about those YouTube comments. I don't know. I ain't trying to get into her personal life. She's saying that she's going through a lot. She's frustrated about her weight loss slowing. She seems to have injured herself. Her Facebook group got taken away. I think there's enough going on without even having to like speculate whether or not her personal life is going well. It ain't my business whether it is or ain't. So if she don't mention it, I don't really care. From what she has shared, she already has a lot going on. But yeah, do you expect your subscribers to be considerate of the fact that you have a life outside of YouTube? Don't bank on it. I'm so sorry. Do not bank on it. That's why I don't like I share some things and then other things I don't share. I remember when I first started, not when I first started my channel, but I was about 4 months in. I was deep enough in that to some extent people were expecting me to at least show up to some extent, like once a week, once every other week or whatever. In December, I basically took the whole month off because I needed a break. I was overwhelmed by the amount of work that goes into doing YouTube, and I wasn't even doing a lot at that time, and it was still overwhelming, and I was still going through seasonal symptoms of seasonal affective disorder. I just disappeared for a whole month. I disappeared because I felt like my audience had not grown enough to the point where anybody was going to care, but I was wrong. So I never did that again. I never disappeared like that again. When I came back in January, people were like, I was wondering where you was at. I was wondering what happened to you. And I was like, y'all were waiting for me? So I learned the hard way that once you have people depending on you, you better show up. Will they give grace? Absolutely. But you better show up once you've established that people are looking forward to your content. So, but that doesn't mean you can't take a break. I just think you should let people know that you're taking a break. Text doesn't translate well all time. So how can the group be positive all time? I don't even know how that works. I don't even know how you have a positive only group. I don't know how that works. That's not even something that I would strive for because that seems impossible to even achieve. So I would really like to know how the moderation of that group worked in order to keep it positive at all times, like positive only. That's wild. That is wild.
Real frustrations just because they may not be, getting on camera and boo-hooing. I mean, some of them do. It doesn't mean that it's not happening. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep chugging along, but I've given up on trying to pull myself out of this funk. I'm just gonna sit in it for a minute and be like, you know what? This is what it is right now. This is it. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that really struggle when they're on a GLP-1 and they can't, get that dopamine hit, and then they're down and they're like, what do I do? None of the things that I would normally do have made me feel any better. So I'm just saying, F it. I'm not going to feel better right now. And we'll see where that goes. So I don't know if I'll be posting videos this week. It is a holiday week, and I usually...
She sounds a little defeated. Now, she has posted since this. I think she took a little bit of a break, but she's back to posting again. You know what would make me feel better if I did this? Talking to the people that are upset with me. Or, like, I don't want to make it seem like I care all that much. Like, I care, though. I care. Like I said, the ones that I know by name, I can recognize them in the chat, and I feel like we've built a rapport, then yes. The ones that participate on a regular basis, yes. Like, but what would make me feel better in this situation is, one, getting a little bit of space, unplugging, and then coming back and talking with the people and being reminded how much people actually support you. Because I know getting a flood of negativity can seem like all is lost, but I looked at her recent comments and there are people like, you didn't do anything wrong. We support you on the therapy thing. And so that means you have to make a choice to focus on those negative comments, because there are plenty of people that are still like, we got you, we got your back, we understood what you meant, we support you. So surround yourself with that energy. That's positive energy. You know, have a panel where you let people come up that support you or don't support you or whatever. Go subscribers only, members only stream. You know what I mean? So it's like she's being extra hard on herself, and I just feels a little unnecessary. But who am I to tell her how to deal with it? Constant positivity is a weird requirement for a support group. That means she couldn't go to her own Facebook group and express her disappointment and only losing 2 pounds, her arm in a sling, negative comments. That's exactly, I think. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the group or not. Well, either way it's gone, so I don't know. I can't confirm. But that's exactly right. How could you be positive all the time? I would say this is not a positive video. So, like, if you're looking for community, sometimes being vulnerable isn't positive. Like, sometimes the energy that comes from vulnerability is painful. And when you're seeking community, it's not always going to be happy go lucky. It's not only, first of all, every experience on a GLP-1 ain't good. So what does positive only even mean? Like, if I want to be like, I'm fucking sick of mochi, I can't say that in a group because it's not positive. If somebody comments in the group, I'm having trouble with my compound from Red Rock, and I say go to Lily Direct, is that considered negative? If I say I prefer brand over compound, is that considered being negative? Like that's kind of gross energy. We don't want that over here. So I don't know what positive only means, but she said it. I don't know what that means. I'm just speculating, honestly. Daily life on GLP-1 isn't positive. How about if I want to vent about the Caremark cutting Zepbound off? This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not judging because there's nothing here for me to judge. I just don't understand. I really don't understand, like, what positive only for a support group means. Like, no criticism, because sometimes criticism is positive. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody that's in the group will leave me a comment to let me know.
Usually take a couple days off for holiday. I do have family that's coming into town, so this might just be a good week to take some time off away from YouTube. I'm just gonna see what I feel like. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna go with the flow and see where that takes me. Because right now I'm trying to swim upstream against the current, and that's not working. So I'm just gonna get on my little raft, and I'm just gonna have my little cooler tied to my raft, and I'm just gonna head on down. Just go with the flow instead of trying to fight it. Anyway, I hope that you are having a fantabulous day. I hope that you have a great week. I hope you get to spend time with family. If you would like to, like this video. It helps my channel. If you're new here, hey, sorry you stumbled on this one. If you would like to go watch a funny video or a helpful tips and tricks video, definitely go check out my other videos. Hopefully you'll subscribe. Come along for the ride. And as always, be kind, rewind.
Well, that is the end of that. And I really hope that Allie starts to feel better. I really do. I hope she starts to feel better. I hope that the relationship that she has with those subscribers is I hope it's repairable. I hope they work through it. And if they don't, well, to me, it's like, I don't want to say fuck them, but at the end of the day, you cannot only focus on the people that may have an issue with you. You know what I mean? Like, you address it and you move on. She's addressed it. She should move on. And I hope she is. So I definitely wish her the best. And I still kind of wish I could have seen those comments. But overall, I think that what she said was, for the most part, harmless, but I definitely see why people were offended by it. I do. I just do. Like, I think Kat's take on it was a bit of a hot take, but it was real. It was honest. Like Allie's coming off like she done made it to the top of the mountain and she done forgot what it was like to climb up that motherfucker. Like she coming off like that a little bit. But I love her. I love her channel. I wish her the best and I wish her subscribers the best. And if you were being mean or attacking her or being rude to her, then don't bring that shit over here because I might cuss you out. Okay? Hi, G's. She seems very depressed in general and should consider a long break from creating and work on her own thoughts and feelings. I agree. I believe Allie also gets paid from YouTube, so I'm not sure if she's limited on how much of a break she can take because of income. I don't know. I'm speculating. But I know a lot of content creators will take breaks, but at the end of the day, when they do come back, they say, well, I came back because this is my job. I have to show up. So I'm not sure if that plays a role in it, but she definitely seems very down. So I wish her the best. But like I said, there are positive comments that she can go lean on. I don't know why she isn't. Like, there are positive comments. So, you know, I hope she gets through it. That was the first time hearing about the 2 pounds. Yeah, she seems down in the dumps about her weight loss slowing, but it's like I don't want to say, but you know so much. Like, I don't want to come off like that, but it's like, it's not the end of the world. Like, I went 6 months without losing a single pound. It is not the end of the world. I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at myself. I'm laughing at myself because I'm stupid. But it's not the end of the world. I hope she'll be okay. I hope she gets some rest. Yeah, just turn it off. Turn the phones off. Just turn it off. Like, I don't even like y'all for real. Like, why are y'all here? Like, ugh. But she needs some rest. She needs some rest. I might send her an email. Is her email on her channel? I don't know. If it is up there, I don't think she knows who I am, but I may send her an email. Maybe she'll read it. Maybe she won't. I did tag her. Did the tag go through? It may not. I tried to tag her, but it may not. It may not show until I actually get off of the stream because I did it through the streaming platform. But typically when you ask somebody, um it'll oops. It what? It will notify them that they've been mentioned. So I'll try to make sure the tag is correct when I get out of here. But that's pretty much it. I actually didn't know we were on here for 3 hours because woo, I'm tired. My eyes hurt. Like it's 1 a.m. here. So thank y'all for rocking out with me. Some of y'all are in different time zones, so it's not as late where y'all are, but it's 1 a.m. here. Like my eyes hurt. My eyes hurt. If you haven't, please like the stream before we get out of here. Send me some love, show me some support, hit the subscribe. Consider becoming a member. Like, oh my gosh, cute vein badges. Like, what are y'all waiting for? And I didn't do anything I was supposed to do today. I was supposed to pack up my apartment and get my life together, and I didn't. So y'all will not be hearing from me tomorrow. I'm going to like me being an adult tomorrow means y'all don't hear from me. Like I need to get my apartment packed up. You see the U-Haul boxes? Do it look like I'm even? It's like 2 boxes that are filled back there, like 2 of them. So by the time I come back, the only way I'm coming back tomorrow is if every single box in here is full. That's the only way. That's the only way. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go get me some rest. Yeah, geez, where you at? I'm nosy. You don't gotta tell me like what state or whatever, or you can tell me what state, but you don't gotta tell me what city. You on the East Coast? I'm not sure where you are though. I'm in North Carolina. My eyes, like my eyes are like I'm tired. I'm tired. And I got this light on my face, and I wanna get it off. Um, my boyfriend is moving around like a thief in the night. Like he's here and then he's not here. He's around and then he's not around. Like he's moving in silence, and it's so weird. But okay, thank y'all for rocking out with me. Like seriously. Oh, and if you haven't, subscribe to G's 101. He's sharing his journey on YouTube. Good night, Sydney. And subscribe to Teddy D. He's also just started sharing his journey on YouTube as well. And they are showing out for the fellas on, you know, for the Venetian fellas. You know what I mean? I know it's a little pink over here, but you know, like, you know what I mean? Like we got a couple fellas that watch, and they be showing out. So go show them some love on their channel, subscribe, watch the videos, and hopefully we'll be able to check in with them and keep updated on how the progress is going. Suburbs outside of Philly, I dig it. My boyfriend's from Philly. I dig it. All right, you are very welcome, and I appreciate you all. I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm not going to say it 15 times because I tend to do that and then I don't leave. So I will see you all. When am I coming back? Hold on, let me see something. I don't know. Let me go get my shit packed up tomorrow. Let me get this apartment packed up and keep out for the community tab post. If you haven't, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. I will start posting on TikTok and Instagram, but definitely check the community tab post on YouTube. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.